got maps in front of us. And I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of them. So Pigeon's View, a good start. So what's the difference between High View and Pigeon's View, Crackety?
So Pigeon's View actually makes use of points of interest. You got like two neutral trading posts there. On top of it, there's also more berries that spawn. So berry civilizations do benefit a bit more from it.
Okay. And, okay, I want us to... This is the first time we actually get to watch them draft as well. We see a good old Lancaster band on both sides. And I love that. Both these guys agree Lancaster's not for them. And then a little Macedonians into Japan. How are we feeling about that?
It's interesting that Scarlet Devil bans Macedonians. Valdemar, on the other hand side, bans away the Sengoku dynasty for Scarlet Devil, as well as Japanese. So... tries to get rid of both variants there for Scarlet Devil. But overall, like Scarlet Devil, Malians and Ottomans and Ayyubids, these are like already 3 top-tier civilizations, the way I rate them. Like, especially Ayyubids at the moment, they've been feeling quite potent overall. Valdemar, though, getting China and the Byzantines in, like, those are also 2 incredibly strong civilizations. I think China probably more so than Byzantines. Like, they're at least a lot more flexible in most matchups, and Byzantines, you kind of like want to pick on specific maps. But Scarlet Devil here, with his civilization choice, definitely a lot of comfort picks, but it's kind of wild whammon the way like the Chinese meta is so separated from like the normal meta that people are used to. And Valdemar is a very meta-oriented player. Like, this dude has a lot of theory crafting around like, okay, this is the meta, this is how a matchup is supposed to be played. And Scarlet Devil doesn't care.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've played a lot against English today. I've played against a lot of Chinese players. Oh my goodness, we're gonna get there eventually. I'm gonna find the vocabulary to do a full sentence today, I promise. But what I wanted to point out, guys, is Scarlet Devil was like, nah, I'm picking Order of the Dragon in English. You can have Zushi. He doesn't care. HRE was still on the cards. He's like, no, you take that. I don't need it. I'm going for English. And honestly, that type of confidence is something I aspire to in my life. To be able to pick English over these civilizations at the top level. So now, Taklak as well, little Mongols. I'm liking this draft. I feel like we might be getting some spicy things.
We could be seeing the Tukluk here coming in on Frisian marshes, like beat it the other day. That was quite funny. That was an interesting game, but unlikely to be seeing that, at least for the foreseeable future, because we have a lot of maps here. This is now a best of 7, so we got 7 potential games to watch. It's already 10 p.m., and this might take us all the way to like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. here today. I'm excited for that. I got work tomorrow, but I'm still here for it after all, and Valdemar now with the Sengoku dynasty and the Abbasid, so 2 of his, or at least the Abbasid, like one of his favorite civilizations coming in there as well.
Oh, I'm so glad to see little JD. I know JD is a lost pick, but in my heart, I'm still a happy camper. But now, on Pigeon's View, the stealth forests situation is a little bit dire, and I feel like civilizations that do, hello, surprise, is really nice to have in this scenario. So I would really love to see them picking some of those civs in here. Especially, we have Sengoku on the side of Valdemar. Is this not just the most perfect map to constantly spawn shinobis on? Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, Sengoku definitely works well on Pigeon's View because you're able to hide the yatai, the little hot dog stands, quite effectively inside of the stealth forest. So it's kind of difficult for Scarlet Devil to find out where the yatai is and consequently punish them. And with the additional berry spots, there's a ton of spots where you can always hide the yatai. You can put them next to berries, you can put them next to the boar, and just rotate them around depending on where the army movement from your opponent is. I do believe that the yatai are also able to capture up the point of interest, the neutral trading post, to give you vision there. And with a large range on the yatai, sometimes you're able to do that while simultaneously gathering from the boar. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good map for Sengoku, but there's other civilizations that are equally good there. So you got Delhi, of course, that synergizes with all the berries. You get Byzantines, also synergizes with all of the berries, as well as the defensive nature with all of the stealth forests available on the map. Definitely a lot of options there. Scarlet Devil could as well go for the Malians, because going for like the cattle, sustained food income also works quite well there as the game goes on. Just being able to sustain yourself off of the natural resources and still pumping out with cattle and stuff like that. Like, you can produce a lot of units in the feudal age without even needing to go for castle age. There's a ton of civilizations that work on that map. Could also just be Ayubids, just to open yourself up with a really strong civilization baseline. A lot of options here for sure. Actually, like, Ayubids feels like a pretty solid choice here if it ends up being up against the Sengoku dynasty, because you have like the leg up when it comes to picking up relics with the dervishes, and there's no deflective armor, so the long charge from the camel lances could be quite good. But instead, it is going to be opening us up here with the first prior picks from both players. So it is going to be the Malians on Pigeon's View, and Valdemar with the Chinese.
That is a massive surprise to me. I honestly would not have expected them on Pigeon's View to take out the first picks. That would be... You know the value they see in these civilizations. You ideally want to make sure that that civilization you pick is the civilization that you get a win on. You get it completely secured. But now, one of these boys is going to lose his power pick, and that is pretty massive between the two. So
it is, yeah.
I do
and
know
like
that
Mali against China. I do actually really like Malians up against China. I think it's like, I mentioned it earlier, like, eventually, like, the food is going to run out, the natural food resources are going to run out on the map, and Malians is a perfect civilization of just continuously producing units until China runs out of the natural resource on the map, and Mali just keeps going, and China just stops.
That makes sense. Yeah, and especially when you have the ability to also have some cheap raiding units at the same time. I'm a raider at heart. And I feel like with stealth forests, you just have that extra element of surprise. I know China is a civilization that's very trigger happy, making towers everywhere, but you still have that huge element of surprise here. And I think even at the top level, this is something that people might fall short of. Because, to be fair, this is the top level, but it's not within that top 8 that we're used to. This is where people make some human mistakes, things that the rest of us can relate to every now and again as well. And this is one of those instances where it may just fall flat. You can catch your opponent off guard. And we see this with knight control. We see this with building placement. This is all things that are relatable, and they make these mistakes within this point in the competitive scene. But you don't see these things from Vortex and Marine Lord and Puppy Paw and Wham and Beastie and Louis even. These things, okay, Louis doesn't play meta. Scratch everything I just said. But at the same time, these guys are going to show us what they think is good at this rank. And this is also the qualification, right? So next week, we're going to get these guys facing off against one another, and these are going to be high-stakes games. And a lot of these top players maybe haven't figured out the meta outside their bubble of practice partners. So, yeah, let's see what Pigeon's View gives us in that regard. I kind of like this map pool, though, Crackety. This is... I don't know how the players feel about it. I don't read those channels. But I like this map pool.
Mixed.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
players feel mixed about it, but to be fair, I'm just going to say it, they always have something to bitch about when it comes to the map, so it's not something that you can, like, really take to heart to a certain degree. I personally appreciate a good King of the Hill game. I'm not sure how they feel about it when they're up against, like, a sudden keep in the middle of the map, and suddenly it's like, oh man, how do I win this? And yeah, that's when it becomes a little bit of an issue, but overall, I'm quite happy with the map here as well. The maps that we do have, it's a lot of pretty fair maps, I want to say, and players, they obviously have their veto. So if there's like maps that they really desperately don't want to play, they can get rid of those. Yeah, overall, I'm like just looking at the draft that we have here. I think it's a solid map draft overall from them, and yeah, Pigeon's View as an opening game here. Now, Pigeon's View, similar to High View, can lead to some very long games, so hoping that's not going to be the case here, as it's already later into the day, and, you know, casters, they deserve a break at times as well, but I do believe that this is not going to be that long of a game between them. I'm guessing, okay, my prediction for this game duration, 21 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm putting it out there. If I see anybody in chat putting 1 second more or 1 second less in as their bets, I'm gonna lose my baubles, but that's my guess.
29-10.
Alright, 29-10?
29-10.
21-37.
Yes, we have an 8-minute-ish difference. Okay. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I feel like this is high stakes. They're not gonna give up for nothing, you know? I can see, but Crackety, you have to keep in mind, this is a best of 7. You and I, we could be here for the next 4 hours. And as someone who has messed up my sleep schedule significantly, I'm ready for it. I think all the people, except for you, who might be a little bit dead, we're ready. Don't worry, I got you. I'll bring the energy. And I'm starting to get a little tired. That's why there's more energy coming out, you know? Sometimes you just put in everything there at the end, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, a nice long series, a 4-3, Crackety, for you.
When you get tired, that's when you start peaking in the energy levels. And yeah, we do see a lot of people in chat now also putting in their predictions. 21-38, Djinn Dragons. You're really trying it now, aren't you? 1 second more? Oh, man.
Oh, and we have Electroshock joining in, just making sure that Crackety can give us another voice line. Crackety, what would it take to give us another voice line? Is there anything that can motivate you?
We're gonna have to wait for my internet to come back. Oh, casting? Oh man, I can't scream and cast.
Why not?
I mean, we had something like the elephants yesterday. That got me really close. That got me incredibly close.
Oh god. Okay, last game. We don't know what the last game is. This could be the last game, Crackety. Give it your all. The guys. Pigeon's View. Let's hop on in and see what these boys have in store for us, because I'm ready. China versus Malians. Let's go see if the stealth forests prevail, or if I just yapped and we're not ready for the transition. We're just awkwardly going to look into the camera. That's nice.
Here we go.
Yay! It looks
and
like...
here we go. We got Valdemar spawning in as the Chinese here. He's a little bit of an imposter at the moment, though. The name is yellow, the civilization they place is red at the moment, but that is him, Valdemar, right here. Puts the mill right next to the berries, and a little bit of a efficiency bonus there for those workers. On the other side, we do have Scarlet Devil playing as the Malians in the color yellow. Pit mine is coming up. The first couple of houses already put around it. Goes for the second straggler tree as well, so might be that we'll be seeing a couple of additional houses early on here.
Now, getting those early houses feels good, because what comes out of it is anything you want it to be. Is it going to be pro scouts? I don't know. Maybe. Is it going to be a few extra upgrades? Is it going to be your early 3 cows, the Vortex build that we saw? Or is it just a normal old Malian, I forgot to rally my villager elsewhere situation? Now, that is not something Scarlet Devil will do. He's got just enough wood to get that extra 1 house and then call it a day. So I'm excited to see what he decides is the meta here. Because as we talked about it earlier, Scarlet Devil is not a meta player. Scarlet Devil, he redefines the meta. So what he does with that gold, that is the thing I'm going to be writing down and trying out myself.
To be fair, I feel like with the Malians, they got so many different opportunities in general. I don't think there's really anything truly like meta, like not meta about them that you can do. Like anything you do with them basically becomes meta.
Mm-hmm. It feels like there's a little bit of bias here towards Malians, Crackety. What do you have against Malian player? Are you saying they're too
nothing
strong?
Against them. No, I think Mali is. There's certain aspects that I think are just too strong. Like I think cattle economy needs to be devalued. Like I think they need to generate half, but only cost half as well. Something along those lines, and only have half the food there as well.
So that you
because,
can
like,
fill
getting
your
to
ranches.
Getting to
twice as
1,000
fast.
food per minute passively, it's just a little bit much.
Yeah, I think Vampire Crabs here in Twitch chat says sounds like Maldians. Yeah, no, I completely agree. We need more fans of the cow economy. See, this is where I have to ask myself, what is the counter to that? Is that going a lot of people go for the 2TC, but it does take a little bit longer to pay off, and by that time you might just be overrun with sofas anyway. So actually, now that I think about it, Crackety, you've got a good point there. That is a very strong start for them in general. Now, we do see that him aging up now, he's going to have quite a bit of gold here already going for that lumber camp. So he's going to have some choices. Do we want to get double broadaxe from the get-go, build everything we want on the land, or are we just going to go for the plain old pro scouts? Now, I would love to see this from Malians, especially with this huge amount of food that you want to not just get for yourself, but deny from your opponent. And that is my big question here. Is that something
getting a
that's...
mill in, so that could be for pro scout. It could also be for a couple of early cattle. So there's options here. Whatever Skull Devil will do will turn into his type of meta here. Could be pro scouts, could be cattle. And he's already moving out with the villager for the second pit mine.
So
and
ensure...
there's going to be cattle.
Cows. He watched the Vortex Guide, guys. And the Vortex Guide is infallible. We see exactly where to put our cows, how to eat them. Double broadaxe follow-up. Disgusting. This is going to mean Scarlet Devil is going to be in a really nice spot economically, especially with that second pit mine that Valdemar is going to need quite a bit of time to respond to.
Yeah, just already getting the cattle in here means that, sure, Valdemar, he is gonna just pro scout this up most likely, and Scarlet Devil, though, will immediately start his own scaling with the cattle economy. So overall, like, Scarlet Devil has to be quite happy with this. Valdemar will also be content with just being kind of like freely given access to his deer here.
Now, getting a stable, nice and early into 2 horsemen instantly. This is going to mean that that second pit mine is not going to be an easy defense. Scarlet Devil actually needs to make some units out of here.
He went for this really early, though, so the pit mine's already up. And the houses did get buffed a while ago, so they do have a good bit of additional health on them. It's not going to go down that quickly. And the scout from Scarlet Devil does see the horsemen that are coming out now towards his pit mine. That means that the villager should be able to get back to safety. And yeah, villager is moving back now as well. And yeah, just like that, Scarlet Devil isn't going to lose a villager. It's also unlikely that he's going to lose a house in time. He's getting double stables up now. Okay, so might be sofas that are coming in.
This, even if you go for a solid amount of scouts, and now, no, he does go for a sofa here, but even if you go for scouts, they can deal with horsemen because they regen. It is, and they're so cheap, especially when you have this level of economy. But Archer follow-up from Valdemar, and that's a little confusing in my opinion. Is the Archer follow-up because he assumed that Scarlet Devil would be going for the spears? Because right now, Scarlet Devil has a production building, or 2 of them, that count as both units of what Valdemar has for himself. So that Archer answer is a pretty questionable one. Now we see the 3rd production building coming out from Valdemar. Is like, oh yeah, Archer's not the answer, stops producing them. And it might have been just that he expected there to be a Donzo follow-up.
Valdemar, he is going for Scarlet Devil's deer. Is he actually? Does he actually want to bring them back, or does he just want to put them in the stealth force and lame them a little bit? Because if like bringing those back, it's gonna like decay a ton by the time you brought it back, and then it's like not really worth it. But does drop it, and is gonna get out with that scout. Continues making military units now: archers, spearmen, and horsemen all at the same time. So it does have a tri-composition, and Scarlet Devil just continues pumping out the sofas behind this.
Now, the sofa numbers are going to matter very, very quickly, because when sofas are around, things just become very, very hairy. The one moment you feel like, okay, I've got this under control, I'm pulling all 3 for my spearmen to try and defend this. The next moment you have 1 sofa on your gold, And that one is able to pick up a villager. This is going to be a tough one for Valdemar to defend. He's getting more horsemen now. Oh, he's got 4 horsemen now. So this is decent, but the sofas are just going to be so mobile and pretty tough to handle. Now, he does have a scout here, so he sees exactly what's running around, and he's going to look for some damage, using these stealth forests to his advantage. Now, horseman going towards the other side of Scarlet Devil as well, and he's still just making sofas. He's got 7 cows in the ranches, and these guys are going to be producing food all day long.
Behind this now also starts to add in an archer range, so we'll be immediately getting that archer plus sofa army composition here. Does reveal some units now once again onto the pit mine, but the sofas from Scarlet Devil are in now as well. Valdemar does see those. They're not really doing the bestest job of hiding. Valdemar doesn't have any villagers on gold, so that's not really something that he has to be too worried about, but might be doing some damage on the deer here soon, potentially. Actually, Sofa just able to take down one of the horsemen there for free. Valdemar caught slacking there a little bit. And Scarlet Devil, he's just going to go for the village kill here, actually.
And a village kill is pretty massive here, because that's the only source of population we have out of Valdemar. He does not have the wood to replace this anytime soon either, you can see. But he's got the spearmen to replace, the destruction of this village. The village stays alive, and the horses will need to back off just a little bit. But this means that some of the army of Valdemar is not here in position. And Scarlet Devil, he's got 10 on gold, he's got 16 on food. This man, he is just letting that cow boom do the talking and constantly just making as many units as he needs, but not too much. As we can see now, he's floating quite a bit of gold here. He's stopped producing sofas. He just wants to keep his opponent busy in his base, and his opponent is definitely kept very busy in this position. Oh my goodness. You can see with him just chasing behind, he's got the horses here, and Valdemar, he's got a pretty formidable army. And
a second group of sofas now able to take down that village after all. Valdemar's going to get housed if that goes down.
Now, he's got a few archers here that are a little out of position, but the sofas aren't too keen on picking them up. But the village is on the cards, and it will go down. The Imperial official just running for a little bit of tax. Oh. They realize, hey, we could just get this guy as well. Picks up the tax, kills the Imperial official, and gets the village.
That's pretty good value. Another village is getting rushed up, but that village is not gonna stop him from getting pop-capped, but he is just gonna put up a second village right after, so we'll be able to stabilize that way. But good amount of damage done here by Scarlet Devil, and the age up behind this, the timing from him. The half Lani that's coming in, 10 out of 20 cattle here behind this. Already a good amount of sofa, and is going to be able to immediately upgrade those.
And just seeing this pure amount of villagers trying to get this age up done, this is a fast one, because he knows if he gets this up, he's just going to get the sofa upgrade, and these horsemen are going to get completely cooked. You'd think that this is a Byzantine ram raining down upon them, but apparently there's a house focus, and another horseman goes down. The archer stepping very far forward, but the sofas don't want to be taking any extra damage. There's only enough gold for an upgrade. And that's exactly what he gets.
And Valdemar realizes he does not have enough units to immediately go for a TC dive now with his horsemen. A couple of sofas also taking down some of the reinforcements here. Veterancy upgrades not in yet, so decides not to keep fighting there for too much longer. It's coming in behind this, and Scarlet Devil, he's just moving out to the other pit mine that he had up there. Or at the other gold vein. Valdemar's just taking his time and decides to burn down some more houses, but a lot of production still in queue for him, meaning that he isn't just going up to Castle Age on his own side. Could be dangerous, though. We've seen this the way this plays out before.
And with these sofas now being upgraded, the spearmen are going to be a little bit of a deterrent, but that's why he has these feudal age archers in here, to just be able to target fire when he can. Now, Valdemar is doubling down. He keeps making units. We see a lot more archers, a lot more spears in queue here. And the half Lani doing some work, but he is pulling out some cows to eat, as he is a hungry, hungry man with the sofa numbers. They are scary, but are they going to be enough? We do see the TC firing now at the archers on the back line now. So the sofas are going to be running into some of these spears, but the villagers are idle. And it looks like they're going to be fighting back. Crackety. Oh, never mind. They're pulled.
And
Not too
Valdemar, he's
excited.
losing his entire military force here. Spearmen, there's not too many of them remaining. Sofa able to clean up the entire mass here from Valdemar. He's behind in tech. He needs a lot more time now to be able to age up himself. Kills one villager. That's not good enough.
Each. Yes. Not against even a half Lani. When you're up against Malians, you need to do a significant amount of damage. They're already investing so much into getting that economy up and running. Valdemar now overcommitting completely, running into the TC. And honestly, I'm very surprised to see this from him. This is something that we've seen from previous performances where he would overcommit and not know when to dive, when to pull back. And this was one of those moments. He definitely had a huge amount of military that he could fall back on. He just needed to do a little bit of damage and cycle it in and out from there. But right now, Valdemar not giving up. The problem is the food is going to be a bit critical in a few moments, especially now with the Malians. They are just getting more and more sofas, and this furniture is going to hit quite hard, even under the Barbican.
Yeah, and Whammon, you mentioned it earlier, just the importance of winning when you pick the Chinese, right? Like both of these players, their high priority picks have come in here with these two civilizations, so whoever loses this definitely has to be feeling quite deflated, and Scarlet Devil right now looking strong in this one. He got pushed off of gold for a while, but now he's even stronger onto gold. 18 villagers working, so the full Lani, or rather the half Lani, is soon gonna be the full Lani back again. Also now investing into the imams, and yeah, if he gets the relics in behind as well, that is gonna be very tough for Valdemar to come back from. He is in some dynasty, so he is getting more villagers in over time. But the already upgraded veteran sofas here is kind of a dangerous one, and the sofas are gonna start diving in. Might be able to get a villager kill here. Will be able to get one. But I'm gonna dive much deeper.
Yes, this is a very responsible choice. He is at the same time investing into his archers. He's getting more sofas. He's just trying to force Valdemar to make units that he doesn't want to be making. He's trying to get his units out of position here to try keep them busy, delay this farming transition. But Valdemar already going for his farms. This is something I really like to see here. I love the fact that he's already investing all that extra wood, because we know that the food is on a timer. And like you said, Malians just keeps going. If China can survive that food timing that they run out of, they are usually in a pretty good spot. Problem is just, Valdemar has lost so much. So now with the relic game starting, we see that Scarlet has picked up his first relic, and he's got two religious units out on the map. I don't know if they're scholars or what they are. But they will be picking up them relics, and we'll see that number increasing towards his side pretty quickly. The middle one is the next target. Now, that poor villager from China just falls flat on his face. China! Scarlet Devil going against his home civilization here. I just realized. Valdemar definitely not against his home civilization. Yeah. Mali, oh my gosh.
China to get to pay for that wall, yeah. And Scarlet Devil, at the moment it's just mass sofas from him. Now, Valdemar, the big issue here, right, is like Valdemar doesn't even have equal number spearmen to the sofas at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He is heading in crossbows, though, but at the same time, archers as well from Scarlet Devil, and this is like the go-to army composition from the Malians. It's Sofa and archers, and archers, once poison arrows comes in, even lancers don't really stand a chance.
Now, if lancers could have been chosen here, it could have been a nice, fun engagement, especially in the early stages. But this is the stealth forest. Crackety! We talked about the stealth forest and people making mistakes, even at this level. Valdemar succumbing a little bit to the pressure here of the qualifying match. And just running without a scout and into the darkness. This is such a dangerous position to be in. And Scarlet Devil knows exactly what's going on. You can see that vision difference with our observer furiously clicking Control F and Control bracket to make sure that we have the best vision out there in the land. Villagers now trying to get this wall up, but Scarlet Devil, he knows.
Ooh, relic number 4. And there's the military. Scarlet Devil. He's got so much here. Still doesn't decide to go for the full fight. Instead, just content with picking off a couple of villagers.
And that's going to be a pretty nice... Oh, it was going to be a pretty nice one, but he decides to spare that will. He said you built well enough, and life is hard enough there playing China, so we'll kill him while he's working. Oh, unfortunately. Little Stealth Forest is now dropped. Poor guy. Crackety, that was a destruction of the tree, the Stealth Forest, and now there's poisoned arrows coming in. I don't know about you, but when I'm even in military count against Malians and villager count against Malians in Age 3, I am quaking in my boots.
Nest of Bees now also in queue for Valdemar. That's the main reason why you want to go for the clock tower, because once you run out of food, you need siege in order to bridge the gap, because siege doesn't cost any food, so that's like the one way that you can like kind of bridge the gap. Valdemar knows this, so even the second Nest of Bees now also coming in. He's trying to get the farm transition going with the granaries, but it's so difficult at this point in time. Scarlet Devil now with the 4th relic, soon to be getting the sacred sites surely as well. Horseman still trying to do some damage here from Valdemar. He did manage to burn down a pit mine, did manage to just destroy a whole bunch of houses there as well. So far, no additional villager kills though from Scarlet Devil. Valdemar did manage to get a bunch in, and you don't want to lose villagers as the Chinese when you're up against the Malians, who already have the cattle economy going for them. By the way, cattle economy now on 20 out of 20 cattle, so the full cattle potential has been unleashed here for Scarlet Devil. Up to 40 sofas now.
Oh, and I've seen this in my ranked games. When my opponent has 40 to 60 sofas, you're standing there in your base, you've made 30 spears, you have 30 crossbows, you have horses of your own, and everything is just dying. And honestly, with the half of the army now tracking upwards, the sofas, they can just track right into the base. And it looks like that's probably going to be the target they're going for, as we see this huge wave of horse legs just crossing the field. And guys, if you count all those legs, they are very intimidating, very big numbers. So those horses at the back are going to be trying to circle around. They realize we're not going to walk into that. So now, Scarlet Devil creeping closer. Horse legs, tap, tap, tapping, right into the spears. Is he going to take it? It looks like he's confident enough to do so. Ooh, not that well though.
And Nest of Bees doing a great job here. Is able to thin out the spearman count a good bunch though, and now I feel like he's had enough. He knows the lead that he has. He's trying to send it all in. There's a lot more sofas, just not here at the front line. Not exactly sure where they are, but the Nest of Bees are getting taken down. Crossbows trying to step into the choke point here. There's still so many sofas remaining. Every time the crossbows turn around though, like this is the 300 here trying to hold the line. Doing a great job at it, but the archers are able to start thinning them out as well. And behind this, never forget just the insane food income that Scarlet Devil has to just keep producing units. Valdemar did actually manage to keep up now with the food income, at least for the moment. It feels like that was only momentarily, though, as he only has 18 active on food at the moment. That is not enough to sustain 1,400 food per minute.
And looking at those farms, they're a little bit exposed, some of them. So it does feel like that is a sitting duck level of exposed here. We have one tower here to house all of those villagers, and that can get a little dangerous. Scarlet Devil also on 4 relics. The man has gotten every upgrade in the world, and every other piece of gold is going straight towards the sofa production. So with all of this army, he is now making red dots everywhere. He's got the vision towers. He's climbing inside those walls, and he is looking for more and more damage. And now him knocking at the bottom means he's going to go straight for those farms, which Valdemar just cannot afford to lose control of right now.
Scarlet Devil already back up to 30 archers, over 20 sofas. Valdemar now down to 1,000 food per minute. Tries to get a quick wall up in order to buy himself a little bit more time. Scarlet Devil only is sending a single unit in after opening up the walls there.
Now he does get that extra layer to ensure that the wall will keep him alive. But Scarlet Devil, Crackety, in StarCraft they used to say, the supply does not lie. And the supply here is telling us a very apparent story. 130 to 113, and Malian value here is absolutely disgusting. The sofas are just going to be able to split apart and do the same.
All you really have to do is also just look at the total income at the bottom left side that we have there. Scarlet Devil is almost 10,000 resources ahead of Valdemar.
I think that's pretty good. That means that you were wrong about the civilization. Only 10k? I like Mali.
I was wrong. Okay. I mean, I'm wrong in my prediction as to like when this game is gonna end, because we're already 23 minutes in. To be fair, it could have almost ended at 21. Like, we were close. We were really, really close.
Now, unfortunately, these sofas are looking to close out the game, and I don't think my prediction's going to be right either because of this. So I need Scarlet Devil to chill just a little bit, but chilling is not on the cards. He gets forward of the Huntress. He's probably going to get this in a very spicy position. Let's go see where he plops it down. Right on top of that big gold and a sacred site to secure. Very, very nice. This is just going to mean that those units are going to gain invisibility and keep raiding. Now, it's not on the side of the farms, but it doesn't matter because he's getting every other resource under control.
Yeah, Fort of the Huntress here. I mean, the timing, it's so brutal for Valdemar. He's just managed to stabilize here now in the Castle Age. Going up to Imperial Age just isn't really too feasible for him, and he as much as we beam on him for it, but he did Valdemar himself in a good bit behind this.
You know when you say he's stabilized in castle? You know when you're on a little boat and you're just floating in the ocean, it was a little rocky, but you stabilize. But then there's this giant tsunami that's on its way. So you can say he's stabilized in castle, but stability is all relative. Right now, poor Valdemar is about to be covered by a red wave of poison archers and elite sofas pretty soon. This is not going to be there's no stabilization, no DJI gimbal is going to keep him stable here. So this man, he's waiting for the upgrades and then he's going to engage. Valdemar keeps producing, he realizes this. He needs to find that stability, hold on strong, spear to the ground, and get every sofa on a stick. Because these guys are going to do an insane amount of damage to that eco, and the eco is just sitting there at the back, waiting to get raided.
Yeah, we're about to be getting all of the elite some of the elite upgrades already through here now for Scarlet Devil. Next thing that we should be seeing is some bombards. And once you get up to 2-3 bombards, the Nest of Bees don't really stand a chance, as they can then easily get sniped out by the siege from Scarlet Devil. But he's just taking his time. He knows in what a precarious spot Valdemar is. Valdemar, though, behind this, also tries to potentially go for an age-up play here. He's stacking up his food. He did send out a lot of villagers over to gold. Yeah, he's completely off of wood now. He's just trying to go ham and try and get the age-up in. The question is, what is he going to go for? Is he just going to try and go for a Great Wall Gatehouse on his farming economy? He's not going to be able to secure any gold resources with that from the looks of it.
Now, you have to keep in mind, this is China. They have a lot of taxes, and they do not mind not having access to all that gold. They do a pretty good job at surviving in those cases. The problem is just, when he hits that age up, that's the warning bell for Scarlet Devil to just go and end this from his side. And we do see that the army is a little bit split here, which means he probably doesn't want to take these engagements, because just getting this army trimmed is not going to be the greatest here. We do see that age up being clicked on, and we'll see where that bad boy is going to be built, but it's going to be a surprise to what it is.
It's a Great Wall Gatehouse in between the farming area there. And Scarlet Devil, this is the moment where he really wants to go for it. The age up should complete... is it even going to complete in time? It's always such a difficult thing, getting the Great Wall Gatehouse up in time, because the villagers, they can only build on it on 2 sides. Oh man, does have the Nest of Bees there. Great Wall Gatehouse is going to complete, but it's been nerfed. It only has normal Nest of Bees on top of it. These aren't the old Giga OP Nest of Bees.
I'm so glad they did this, but in this moment, I feel really bad for Valdemar watching that medium wall gatehouse just firing away. The sofas ignoring it completely. As the bees are trying their best, and they're doing an okay job, but the amount of units out of Scarlet Devil here is just making this look like an absolute destruction. So, with all of these sofas now looking for more damage, he was able to kill off most of them. The problem is there's reinforcements and they're going elsewhere. Oh no.
He's still trying to stick this
no.
one out. Great Wall Gatehouse is taking down a lot of units, but there's still so many sofas reinforcing, and Valdemar, he just cannot produce anything behind this, and GG is gonna come in. Scarlet Devil opening us up here with the victory for himself, so gets an early lead up in this best of 7.
Now, this is a pretty heavy loss here for Valdemar, because again, this is China. This was his #1 civilization that he went for. Scarlet Devil, this feels good. You just knocked your opponent down from his #1 pick. So, getting it on a map like this as well is setting the pace for the game. And I really hope that Valdemar is going to be able to pick himself up off of this and be like, okay, that's fine. I'm not tilted. I got this. China is just China. It is what it is. He's done with Malians. From here on out, my drafting is going to carry me through. So,
Yeah.
I think what a lot of players go through at this level is very often just the fact that tilting is pretty heavy on the soul. And I mean, we see it at the top level too. We've seen some top players, I shall not name, that tilt into oblivion after a game. So we need to understand that this happens everywhere. But against Scarlet Devil, against that, it must feel pretty tough.
Whammon, a nice little message there for, or rather a nice little news piece there for you. You got the closest with your prediction as to how long that game would go. You were at like 29 and a bit. This game ended at 28-48. So I looked through the chat. You were actually the closest with guessing how long that game would take. Okay, we see. I hear production that said, okay, it's only closest without going over. So we got to take some points away for it. Nah, it's fine.
It is what it is. But we have a little bit of a different pick coming in here. Ladies and gents, are you seeing what I'm seeing here on the left corner? King of the Hill. Valdemar says, Vizky gets the pick, guys. So he's like, no worries, guys. We're going to play my match, the standard match. No, I'm joking. Of course, King of the Hill is not standard. But HRE against Order of the Dragon, we get the sister civilizations facing off against one another, screaming at each other in very angry German as Krakeny is about to do for us.
Ja, Landsknechte, ja!
Very nice. That did not feel angry enough, but it's okay. We'll let this one slide. Krakeny is tired. So, I'm excited to see how these two play out.
It's a Landsknechte, it's Landsknechte.
It's Landsknechte?
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense. Or it connects lands?
Oh no.
We're definitely not gonna see them here though. Or maybe, you know what, maybe. We might be actually seeing them from Order of the Dragon here potentially. Like Order of the Dragon, Landsknechte, they hit differently. It's like, you know, this is not a knife, this is a knife, something like that. Along those lines, and yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Okay. I'm excited to see how this one lands because, of course, King of the Hill, I used to remember the days. I think Twitch chat, you guys remember those days when we would queue into King of the Hill on ladder, and then you get English against Rus or China in the middle, and yes, then HRE joined the mix, and HRE was like, "Hey, let me build a tower with some relics." But both of these civilizations, they can play a good feudal if they want to. But they have to move out to get resources. They do become a little bit susceptible to them raids. So I'm a little bit worried here about the ability against these two on how they're going to fight out. I feel like HRE just has a little bit of a boost there when it comes to the feudal if they decide to stay in feudal.
Both civilizations have their strong points here in that regard. I think, like, overall, when it comes to timings, they're, like, we're now at the stage where they're both really, really even. Out of the Dragon, they've gotten a bunch of buffs, like in general, like to their villagers over the time. So at this point in time, it's like they don't even really like need the Archon that much anymore. They can definitely still go for it, but like the base villager gather rate boost is already so strong, and like they take like what 3 more seconds to produce, or like just maybe even less off the top of my head. You're not that far behind in villager count at this point in time with the Order of the Dragon. Their villager, their economy baseline is really, really good.
I'm excited to see what this means for us, because I want you guys to notice the prior picks though. Valdemar did not note Ichiri as the main pick here, and he still has a lot of civilizations ranked above this, but it makes a lot of sense. When I look at his options, yeah, Ichiri was definitely the only choice he had here. Well, Scarlet Devil, on the other hand, imagine we get a little English. Ooh. Now, I'm excited to see Scarlet Devil play English because he prioritized this thing. He prioritized it above Zushi, so this means that we will most likely see it on a map here today. Crackety, place your bets right now. Where are we seeing English?
Where are we seeing English?
Lipany.
Frisian Marshes, Louis style?
Okay.
Potentially.
Explain. What is Louis style?
Louis has played English a whole bunch of times on Frisian Marshes in the past tournaments, where he just goes 2TC on Frisian Marshes, and he's got a very intricate style of base building, and then he just spams spearmen and longbows to, like, even if the opponent goes Castle Age, he just keeps spamming spearmen and longbows. And the farm transition is going to come in, and he's just going to be able to spam spearmen non-stop and just try and overwhelm with them. And it's looking somewhat strong, but also sometimes very weak at the same time. Like, mid-game, you always wonder, oh man, is this actually going to work out? Then it doesn't, but he makes it look very close, and one of those, like, I believe there was a game there it actually did work out, but enough of that. We're now jumping into our game number 2 between Valdemar and Scarlet Devil. We're here on the one and only King of the Hill, the most kingest of hill, and seeing how Scarlet Devil immediately like put the sheep in the back there makes me believe that this is going to be an Archon game from him.
Oh, it definitely is. When you get into this specific matchup as well, I think the number of units here is where it matters, because with Order of the Dragon, you just cannot produce as much because your units are so much more expensive. So the way to really land your damage would be to just be able to overwhelm, to attack from different angles, to get that economy up as much as you can, produced as much as you can, to be able to out-micro and outdo Order of the Dragon. Order of the Dragon is just such a unique civilization, but they do have that little bit of a negative point of, hey, you are going to need to react to everything, and you are just not going to have the numbers to react.
Oh. Looking at Scarlet Devil's base layout there, he could also go for a very nice Archon Chapel there next to the small wood line, the gold and the sheep there that he has as well. Only issue is, of course, you never really want to put your Archon Chapel forward. That always is going to hurt you, but it doesn't hurt you as much with the Order of the Dragon, because no matter where your villagers are, they're going to be producing, or not producing, but gathering a lot faster.
I'm learning. Guys, this is basically like me getting coached by Crackety. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. He's giving us free coaching. Everyone, right here. The Scarlet Devil getting an Arcane Chapel. I can imagine this feeling a little bit tough when you look at that position. And you gotta ask yourself, is this really what I'm stuck with? But he does have pretty safe food there on the side as well, if he manages to learn to wall. He gets a little note here from Valdemar and invests in one of those, because I think with the amount of... Ooh, okay, he's getting the forward one. Crackety, you called it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for him here if he wants to go for fast castle playstyle, which both of these players ideally want to go for, right? Like on this map, we know there's a sacred site in the middle, and these two players, I mean, these two civilizations are incredibly incentivized when it comes around fast castling and capturing relics. And on a map like this with a single sacred site in the middle, that is the thing you want to go for.
Now, if I am in this position where I know my opponent is... Oh, and we see the tower instantly. I was making a thought here, but the ADHD just saw the tower, erased everything that was going on in my brain. And I'm just like, okay, there's a tower here. Usually, Order of the Dragon loves doing this when they don't want anyone touching said area around the tower. But Valdemar is doing the opposite. Valdemar has 5 on wood here. This man, he wants to go touch your tower. He wants to go ensure that he is raiding you at all times, and he's putting down that fuel pressure. But Scarlet, is he going to be going for something a little bit sneakier?
He's already got the outpost prepared, so will most likely just be a very, very fast castle age coming in here from him. Valdemar is about to spot this one out. His scout is creeping alongside the edge there, so we'll be able to see that outpost on the gold, and that just immediately is going to be sending warning signs over towards him and be like, oh my god, my opponent, he's just going to be going for naked fast castle age. And yeah, that's most likely going to be the plan here from Scarlet Devil.
Oh, he's putting 3 villages on wood here, just to be safe. You obviously want to get a house here, just to ensure you don't pop cap yourself. You do need a little bit of wood in this game, but
for pro scouts. Yes, yeah, it is going to be pro scouts on King of the Hill. Okay, now the food is nice, but you're gonna delay yourself a good bit, and Scarlet Devil actually is respecting Valdemar here a lot, going for some stone there for an outpost emplacement. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Like, both these players have gotten a lot of sheep early on, so it's not going to be like an immediate timing where Scarlet Devil is going to run out upon hitting Castle Age. You should have enough to get a significant mass of units out before that.
The thing is, him going for a fast castle is great, but Valdemar now getting pro scouts, he's gonna have there's gonna be a little opening where Scarlet Devil can kill Valdemar with these fast castle units. We've seen this. We've seen this happen, and this is just the issue when you're playing against Order of the Dragon. Their units are so tanky, and that stable of yours ain't gonna do too much when there's a very chonky men-at-arms running towards your base. But at the same time, Valdemar, he's gotten his pro scouts and the rest of his units straight onto gold, straight onto food. He wants to make sure he can respond accordingly. And I kind of like this. It's going to ensure that he has that constant food income. But at the same time, he needs to more or less match that age-up timing, which Scarlet Devil is very much ahead of him.
Yeah, the age of timing here is going to be quite good for Scarlet Devil. Not a single military out yet for Valdemar. Instead, just focusing on getting those scouts out to go for that professional scouting. Scarlet Devil, he is just about ready to hit the age up, and it is most likely going to be the Regnitz Cathedral. Nothing else really makes sense here at this point in time, right? Like, with the timing window that he has for him here. Villagers are moving. Okay, we are going to be getting the Burgrave Palace in from Scarlet Devil. Okay, yes. We are getting the Burgrave Palace in from Scarlet Devil. So, we're not getting a Regnitz. There's not going to be a play from relics immediately from Scarlet. I mean, it makes a lot of sense as well, because if you then make a monastery and still get the relics in, the Burgrave Palace still generates value worth roughly like 400 resources per minute. It's incredibly greedy just because he's up against the Agery as well, and Valdemar is about to follow up with his own age up. This is going to be a difficult one. I would value Valdemar's play a bit higher here.
As he's about to go for the Burgrave, right?
Surely Valdemar, the meta player here, is going to choose the Burgrave over the Regnitz in an HRE mirror.
Oh, damn, Valdemar. Come on, man. We were hoping, Twitch chat, everything was riding on this. But he goes for a barracks as the follow-up here. Now, I think that might be a little bit of an expensive lesson he's about to learn, Gregory. Because if you go for a nice old barracks opening for Valdemar here, he's not going to have a response to those men-at-arms. He can try to get men-at-arms himself, but Order of the Dragon men-at-arms, they do hit a little bit differently.
Valdemar already sent his prelate out in order to be able to get that relic. Wait, is he already at the relic? In that case, he sent him out a little bit too early.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. Over.
Yeah.
No, he's just now making his way out.
Now we do see that Scarlet Devil needs to move out a little bit on the map on the deer, as we predicted, with the food running a little bit low. But Scarlet Devil getting his own prelates now. He wants to make sure he gets every bit he can. And if he's going to have access to those relics. But now we have 2 men-at-arms coming his way. And Valdemar, he made 3 spears.
Oh.
Oh, no.
He misclicked.
Oh, he shift. Oh,
he shift-clicked. And Scarlet Devil's prelate is close. Valdemar, he hasn't noticed yet. Scarlet Devil's prelate is about to be closer. He's not getting the relic. He's not getting the relic, women. And Scarlet Devil has more... Oh my god, no. Valdemar... Oh, he's gonna rewatch this and he's gonna be like... Oh, that just lost me the game, potentially.
Now, losing a relic like this is massive. Because, oh, and he realizes now, but the relic is gone, Valdemar. And so is your hope of picking that guy up. But now, Valdemar only has 1 relic in the base, which is great. But look at this. The men-at-arms have arrived. And Crackety... There's nothing that can kill them right now.
There is a knight there, and with some prelate healing as well, the knight is going to be able to stay alive for a long time, but that means that the prelates are actually going to be stuck here inside of the base from Valdemar for a long time, and behind the Scarlet Devil... Actually, the knight is going down! Is he going to pull him back? He pulls him back.
Oh god, but with the knight now being low, he's still going to be able to charge in every now and again, but the men-at-arms turns around.
Oh, he takes him down!
Shot. Disgusting.
More knights coming in, next knight's coming in. That one's going to be able to clean him up, but... I mean, the men-at-arms, they've gotten so much value in behind this. And yeah, I mean, Scarlet Devil, he's just getting 4 out of 5 relics in. Up against Regnit's Cathedral. And now with the Burgrave, he's able to get really cheap... Core was right. Core was right all along. This Civ is broken.
Guys... This just in, if you want to make a Reddit thread, please complain about Order of the Dragon. They're seeing way too much tournament time, as we can see here. Now, these guys definitely needed a little bit of love. But you see Valdemar hoping for that last relic. The problem is, he's hoping on an empty dream, as the relic has already been picked up. Scarlet Devil carrying that 4th relic back to his base, and Valdemar currently sitting here in shambles, thinking about, what am I gonna do next? I'm up against a 4 relic Order of the Dragon. And, what now?
Now, we harvest the deer that we've got going for ourselves and just try and produce as many units as possible and try and make something happen. We see a nice little wall coming out here now from Scarlet Devil as well. Wants to make sure that he's going to be safe on that side of the map. Can we quickly take a look at the vision that Scarlet Devil has? Because, of course, Order of the Dragon and HRE, their outposts already have a lot more vision. But with the relic inside of it as well, like, yeah, Scarlet Devil sees a lot on the map. Like that. He sees so far with that 1 outpost? Okay.
Let it out.
Vision, man.
It's definitely not an easy thing to play against. But hey, when you've got the vision, you get to make the choices. And this is a knight just paying him a little visit to ensure that he doesn't just snowball too far. This one knight actually doing already pretty good work. I see 2 villages have gone down. And I assume that knight is the cause of both of them.
Yeah, about to be a 3rd. There's a crossbow here. Doesn't turn around. 2nd crossbow comes in as well. Oh, the villager just walled up. Might not be able to tail the tale for too long. And knight is gonna charge in on that one. And that's gonna be... Oh, nope. Decides not to go for it in the end.
Now the villager tells the tale of all of the lands, but the knight also survives. So he will just go back, tell the tale yet again, and be back to raid a little more. This is good by Valdemar. Valdemar now actually realizing, okay, I may have been at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Little bit, but it's okay. I just need to get ahead. I know how to do this. I need to raid my opponent, and I don't need to run into the spearmen of my opponent. And the knight takes down takes a little bit of a beating. Luckily, he's got some prelates in the base to try and heal this up, but Scarlet Devil, he doesn't plan on sending that knight back to base.
Yeah, that knight is getting sent to the afterlife instead. Valdemar now able to reclaim the middle of the map. Does have a large army going for himself at the moment. Scarlet Devil behind this. He doesn't have that many units. We're actually seeing the Gilded Landsknechte now coming in for him. So is going to be realizing the prophecy that has been foretold.
And foretold it will be with all these units circling around, Valdemar looking like he has the spears for days. But there's no horses on the side of Scarlet Devil. There is, however, like you said, the Lunchknecht. And I'm excited to see what that will mean in a fight. Because honestly...
It would mean a lot. Valdemar doesn't have anything to like really deal with that. There aren't any archers. Crossbows are okay-ish, but I mean, just select a Landsknecht and you see how much health they have. A lot.
Now, with these knights from Valdemar, he's going to be able to land a raid or two still, but this is going to be limited edition for him, because you are playing against a man with relics. And a lot of relics at that. These towers are going to get reinforced. I say that, he cancels the tower because he sees a lot of units. Now that forward chapel might be...
Oh, big raids, big raids. 6 villagers already have been taken down. Knights, though, just kind of blindly running in. Landsknechte coming in now. Doing a couple of twirls there. Actually not getting focused down. Never mind, that wasn't a Landsknechte. Landsknechte is with the knights. They all look so similar, Whammon. That's not racist.
Yeah, no, the Order of the Dragon, they do all look similar. I think we're allowed to say that because historically German, so we can say they are all powerful warriors here, but you can see those men-at-arms and Landsknechte, they look one and the same here. But now the farms are idle, boys. And that means we are not going to be able to get the production we need here. Mr. Scarlet Devil is going to be in a little bit of a pickle here when it comes to producing. You see him on the berries now, trying to get as much as he can, getting a few archers. So those archers, they're expensive, and he just doesn't have the resources to do this with. But now, slowly getting a little bit of control back here, trying to get those towers to, you know, shoot a little harder when people start interrupting. But the problem is 7 Order of the Dragon villager kills, that is pretty massive. It's not an amount that you can compare to a normal civilization, as these guys are about 10 villagers in essence. So now Scarlet Devil, he needs to recover. But he's got the relics to do so.
Outpost has been put up, relic put inside as well. Springled emplacement about to be coming in here. Oh, some prelates losing their life though.
Few crossbows paying the price, but those are so cheap compared to losing those prelates. And we see the knights doing yet again the same. And this is what we said about this earlier. With Valdemar, he knows exactly what the weakness is of the civilization. It's the sheer amount of units that you can produce. You just need to overwhelm your opponent by attacking in multiple places at once. We'll see now if this is going to be enough.
Yeah, Sacred Side victory condition ticking behind this, now down to 7.5 minutes left. And Valdemar has been non-stop reinforcing that with outposts as well. He's got 3 villagers on the stone there as well. Able to get the upgrades and the emplacements in on the outposts eventually. Also on the boar. Yeah, difficult situation for Scarlet Devil now. He did get a couple of archers in. I'm not even sure. Are they upgraded to veterancy yet, the archers? They might not have been upgraded
No, they are,
yet.
they are. We see the 3 dots at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Yeah. He is getting +1 range defense as well, as he realizes that these sheer amount of crossbows here from Valdemar is doing a good amount of work. Now, the spearman numbers, I like this from Scarlet. He's going for spears because he knows, hey, my opponent went for crossbows and crossbows and crossbows. Spears, they actually have quite a good survivability against that.
Yeah, especially with the Proud Inspiration as well. Like, their base damage starts becoming quite high as well. And just tankiness helps them out as well. Valdemar is knocking on the door there with a couple of knights. Nothing too menacing though, but the outposts are starting to get reinforced. Scarlet Devil at one point, he's just going to start needing some siege here against this, but he is moving out now. A lot of inspired units here as well, so he's boosting up the value of his troops significantly. Is this going to be enough? We do see the second emplacement about to be coming in.
But that's fine. These units have so much HP. I say that's fine, and he doesn't think it's fine either, though. These towers are not reinforced in the way he needs them to be if those units start going under and doing damage. And they also don't have emergency repair, and it is going to be a fight.
The archers from the Order of the Dragon, they're doing a great job here. They are attacking super, super fast behind this. Crossbows also firing at the front side. And Valdemar, his front line, it's teetering. 22 spearmen, now down to 15. Still 14 spearmen remaining from Scarlet Devil. He keeps reinforcing behind this as well. The back line keeps stepping up. The knights from Valdemar did go down. And it looks like Scarlet Devil, the decap has come through for him. He's able to take the fight over to Valdemar's side now. Scarlet Devil, he realized, okay, I can't keep staying here for a prolonged period of time. I'm gonna go back. But he's already back up to 7 spearmen behind this. And he just bought himself a ton of time. And a very, very good military trade here behind this. Total income, neck and neck. Total destroyed resources, also neck and neck between the two.
Now,
this is such an even game.
This has been amazing from Scarlet Devil. Scarlet Devil just absolutely looking like he calculated and executed. And now getting a mangonel in between this as well definitely feels like the move he needs to be able to do this. What I'm missing a little bit here from Scarlet Devil is the fact that he is not able to do any damage to Valdemar in the base. So Valdemar, this time, not investing in any walls, because Scarlet Devil has been standing firmly in his base. He's getting another Lunchknecht as well now. He realizes, hey, maybe these guys do a little bit of damage. Now, slowly getting that tower creep coming forward, and I love doing this with the Germanic civilizations here. As we have HRE and Order of the Dragon, both of them being able to do that creep, especially with the relics that you can just pop in and out when you need them.
First Mangonel now hitting the field for Scarlet Devil. Against this many crossbows, definitely a good move. Might soon also want to go for maybe just a single trebuchet, just to start applying some pressure to these forward outposts. Some walls here, helping Scarlet Devil out inside of his base.
This is a pretty smart move here from Scarlet Devil, just finally ensuring that the base is safe. Because he can see that's exactly what Valdemar is constantly going to invest in. Now, these 4 towers, they are pretty annoying to handle for most units here, but they are constantly going to get reinforced. The thing is, Valdemar is very close to Imperial Age, and I'm not too sure if this is something Scarlet Devil is going to be able to do anything about. He's getting that trebuchet now. But the longer this game goes, Scarlet Devil is definitely going to be the one in the driving seat. With the opportunity to go for a little bit of pressure here. Being able to shut it down, most likely. But if Valdemar doesn't go for the Elsbach, I think this is going to be a lot harder for him to hold. Because it feels like this is his moment to hold it. Alice of Swabia coming out, and he's just going to play a normal long game.
Yeah, long game here, though, but that means that Scarlet Devil is going to have a nice timing opportunity here to reclaim the middle.
With the Elsbach, it feels like he would have been able to possibly hold this. This could have been that win condition that he needed. But the villagers were not in position to be able to do this. And Scarlet Devil now, he's going to be up against an Imperial Age HRE, but this Imperial Age HRE, he's got a bunch of towers in the middle that are already upgraded, and they're not going to be able to get bombard emplacements all of a sudden. These guys are
First
upgraded,
trebuchet.
and that's just how they are.
First trebuchet comes in, shoots, misses. Classic. Shoots again. Okay, this time he hit.
Nice. Second trebuchet, though. That's going to make it a little easier.
Yeah, Scarlet Devil now. He's getting kind of forced into making a move here, as Valdemar did just age up. Doesn't have enough gold yet, though, for any Imperial Age upgrades. And if he's going for any Imperial Age upgrades, most likely might be going to be for the crossbows that he has the most of at the moment. But he doesn't have that much gold. He did just have to move on to additional gold veins. This could be a dicey situation for him here. Scarlet Devil, he's got a grandiose timing here ahead of him for a potential push.
And all of these towers, investing so much into these, all just went down in the blink of an eye. And now he's going to be able to cap the sacred site. And I feel like if Scarlet Devil is the one aging up here, even with the Palace of Swabia, he would be able...
But there's already trebuchets.
He needs to find a way to kill this army, and it doesn't feel like Valdemar has that chance.
Yeah, this is a difficult one. It's a pretty big army, and we know Scarlet Devil, he is not afraid of keeps. he instead embraces them.
He's like, a keep? I get under those. Very nice.
A keep!
And,
to say it in Demu's words.
now,
Yeah, and he loves the keep. He's going for it. He's hugging it.
Don't fear the keep. It doesn't have boiling oil. We have prelates. We can give thoughts and prayers and we'll be able to survive all day long. Spearmen now at the front here, but we've got prelates as the front line. The thing is, Scarlet Devil might be investing a lot here.
He is, but he's completely massacring the army from Valdemar at the moment. Just before the crossbow elite upgrade came in as well. And the front line that he has, sure, he lost it, but that's a cheap part for him to reproduce.
The Scarlet Devil is slowly producing more units. I don't see a heavy investment here. 1 man-at-arm in the queue, 2 crossbows. But it feels like he's stocking up a little bit of resources now. Because if he just... Oh, never mind. I was wrong, guys. He is making more units. And now getting siege from Valdemar's side as well. That's pretty surprising. But it makes a lot of sense. Especially when you are the one who needs to do something about those trebuchets.
Yeah, trebuchets that can also get buffed up by the prelates that are forward here from Scarlet Devil. He's also still actively producing them to send them forward. Valdemar did invest into the emergency repairs, but that is on cooldown now. Third trebuchet about to make its way forward as well.
Yo, that's a good economy right there. Food, everything just stacked up completely.
Valdemar is getting a second layer of walls up on the right-hand side. Going for the onion build.
Layers. Very nice. Now, he does have a lot of villagers, and we know that with the Palace of Swabia, this is great. HRE loves sitting in Imperial and doing this, but the thing is, HRE likes doing that when they usually have 3 relics in their pocket. And Scarlet Devil is now the one who is, again, in the driving seat, and now the keep, not looking like he's a man who fears that keep, with no emergency repair as well. He can't even pop out those villagers, and quickly...
The keep goes down. No emergency repairs in the nick of time. Is it going to be enough? Another trebuchet shot is coming in.
And it looks like he's focusing on the units instead. The trebuchet is going to keep firing, but he pulls back. He doesn't want to risk this too much now. And he's already lost a ton of prelates here on the front lines. Only 6 total, 5 total, after losing all of those to the keep.
Yeah, lost a lot of units there in general. Did hurt him quite a bit. Valdemar now up to 110 villagers. The Swabia fully online. It looked like he was under a lot of threat here, but it just takes such a long time for these trebuchets to get through that keep, and Valdemar knows that this is his way to stay in the game. He might have just bought himself enough time with that keep.
He bought himself enough time, but it depends now on Scarlet Devil. Scarlet Devil here keeps making units. Oof, that's a lot of investment. We have 40 stone left, so this is not going to be something he can keep repairing. And this is something Scarlet Devil knows. He knows that this is an expensive repair. This is not something he can keep doing. What is the time on the emergency repair? Just observer. Click, click. Quickly, please.
True killing Valdemar here in this situation. Just go up with the Elsbach on the sacred side. It's already down to 6 minutes.
And investing so much stone into keeping that keep alive. Now, that next push is going to be absolutely devastating. Scarlet Devil floating a lot of resources, but he's getting close to that 200 supply, so it's a responsible Imperial if he decides to go for it. Lunchknechte chosen as well, but now these trebuchets are firing away at what is a very important landmark to have there, with the only relic placed inside that cathedral. Just pull back. Of course, you don't want to be risking your trebuchets for anything like that, but the tower here at the front, Elsbach Palace, gonna be the age up. The thing is, this is a very strange timing to have, because now the Elsbach is coming up, but it's gonna need a lot of time. And Valdemar doesn't look like he has enough units to take this, though.
Yeah, it's looking still pretty dicey here for him to be taking this fight. He did just suddenly reinvest a lot into more men-at-arms coming up. The Spearmen just getting kind of obliterated here at the front side. Does have 2 mangonels, so they're going to be doing a lot of damage here as the shots come in. But the front line from Valdemar just got obliterated there pretty much in an instant. He does have a good amount of food income, but it is going to take some time to manifest. And yeah, just the mangonels just getting taken down by the rage units here. More mangonels coming in behind us though, but You just suddenly lost half of the mangonel count there very, very quickly.
And we've got a few culverins here from his side to try and slow this down. But the Elsbach Palace is about to tick on through, and this is going to be... The question Valdemar is asking himself is that an opening for me? Can I try and push this? Because from his perspective, he doesn't know what his opponent just aged up with. But what he did age up with is probably going to be the death of him. Because every single time Valdemar moves out here, that Elsbach Palace is going to make this impossible to get through.
Valdemar, he's currently out on the corner small golds there. And the trebuchet is just from the top rope able to take down some of the infrastructure here from Valdemar.
Oh, that's so tough. Now going to get the barracks as well. These trebuchets can just stand in position and fire at will. Now, we can see some of these missiles are going down. Luckily, not serving any purpose just yet, but adjustable crossbars from Valdemar. He's looking at making this a pretty solid mangonel fight, and he's going to need it to be. Because these units on the ground, they need to die.
Yeah, very much so. It's the biggest threat here, these mangonels for Scarlet Devil. So Valdemar investing into them, and we've seen how strong adjustable crossbars can be, so... This is definitely a win condition here for Valdemar, so kudos for him for realizing that single archer is causing some damage here on the gold vein. To be fair, it's not worth fighting over that gold vein. Like, how much is left there? Like 100 gold? That's not worth fighting for. Yeah.
They got its value, and he can get his wood back. And Valdemar, he needs that wood. He needs that wood because he needs more mangonels. He needs to find a way to break through this. There's 3 minutes on the clock. This is the final fight for either of these players. Or I would say for Valdemar at least. Scarlet Devil, he probably still has some punch in him. Now the trebuchets do go down, but that just opens up a little bit more space for other units.
There it is. Adjustable crossbars now finished up. Incendiaries just finished up for Scarlet Devil.
And all of a sudden, those mangonels are going to need to land the biggest money shot we've seen. Mangonels target the other mangonel and don't kill it. So the problem here is... Oh, we do get a nice destruction there at the back.
And yeah, Scarlet Devil, he's doing such a great job here of spreading out his units. Valdemar, he's not fighting with the siege anymore. His front line is gone. 18 men-at-arms, 18 crossbows in the queue, not out on the field at the moment. There's 2 minutes left on the sacred side. Mangonel's starting to get focused down.
The culverins are going to be next as well, but it doesn't even look like it matters. He's got everything here, and Scarlet Devil is going to be able to close out game number 2 here against Valdemar. Nothing Valdemar can pump out of this base can shut down this Order of the Dragon army.
This has to be tilting, but you can't get tilted in a situation like that. Scarlet Devil... He's doing it, and now a 2-0 lead here in this best of 7. Valdemar down 2 points. This has to weigh on the mental, but can he do it? Can he come back from this position? Man, I mean, these first 2 games as well, they were really even to a certain degree, but Scarlet Devil just able to push through, and it's kind of unorthodox, right? Like, with how Scarlet Devil played these so far. Not really the Malians game, though there were a lot of Sofa in there. But this Order of the Dragon game, I was very surprised with how he approached this overall. Like, we see a lot of Chinese one-tricks on ladder, but even they still prioritize the Regnitz over the Burgrave.
Yeah, this was an interesting choice here, because it felt like Valdemar, he plays the meta. He knows how to play the meta. He knows how to harass. He knows how to shut people down. But Scarlet Devil is doing exactly the opposite of that. And it seems like that was the key here to breaking through Valdemar, so far at least. Because keep in mind, this is a best of 7. And a best of 7, there's still a lot of positions he can be in to make a comeback in this. Now, Scarlet Devil, he's gotten 2 pretty decent civilizations already down. And next is going to be Ottomans against French on Frisian Marshes. A pretty common matchup. See, that's the thing. We just watched a game on King of the Hill that is not a common matchup. Nothing could have prepared Valdemar for this. He's never played this matchup on this map. But He's played Frisian Marshes, French versus Ottomans.
I want to say though, Ottomans are a goated civilization at the moment. Like they're really really strong. They are highly traded as well. And on Frisian Marshes, you just synergize so well as well with the pawns. Now, French, in certain aspects, they also have started synergizing with the map, courtesy of just having the change in that your docks are also like giving you population space, so you don't have to make a house. So in theory, you like save the same amount of wood that Ottomans do for their docks.
Mm-hmm.
But Ottomans, just time and time again, we see them. We see the Sipahi and just what they can do in mass, and I'm scared, Whammon. Honestly, whenever I see the Sipahi come in and they just find like a group of villagers, I just know that that group of villagers is gonna get absolutely obliterated in just a couple of seconds. It's yeah, we've only seen few instances where like that are comparable when it comes to destruction that those Sipahi can wreak.
Now, this honestly sounds like you have some trauma against Ottomans, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah, Sipahi scare me.
Okay.
Sipahi scare me. Like, I wake up at night and just drenched in sweat, screaming at the top of my lungs, "Not the Sipahi!" And then I finally realize, okay, I'm in bed. I'm not actually in a game of Age of Empires 4 right now. It's fine. Nothing can hurt me here. I got my cat next to me. He's protecting me, and all is well. But still, it hits me at the worst times.
So, are you saying the ultimate counter to Sipahi is actually just getting a cat? Because then you wouldn't play Ottomans
Sure.
anyway, right? Cat dads unite. No, I want to point out, by the way, Numidan and Kiljardi are also playing at this time. And these two are fighting for that one spot as well. And keep in mind, this is a tight one, because Numidan, known as a guy who likes to play slow games, Kiljardi, the opposite, it's currently 1-1. So the other side of this bracket is going pretty strong, and it's going to be a pretty tight one between these two. But now, yes, Crackety. Ottomans, I think most of us are a little bit traumatized by them. I think everyone has made the mistake of letting the military schools just do the ticking, not doing the raiding, and all of a sudden, your army dies, his is back in just a little while, and you're stuck. So, I really hope that Valdemar does not let that happen to himself, because he needs this. French, it was his third top pick. He knows that this is a valuable one. He knows how powerful French can be, and getting that control on most maps, they have that play for the big gold always. And in Imperial, we just see French absolutely dominating. But at the same time, we've seen Ottomans in Imperial. And honestly, I choose Ottomans every day, if I have to compare. Great bombards, they're too great. How do you handle Ottomans in Imperial? Is there a way?
You take your head, you take your two hands, you put your head in between the hands, you get on the ground, you assume the fetal position,
Right.
and you cry.
Okay.
That's the best way, I believe, to handle Ottomans in the late game. It's difficult. It's incredibly difficult. They got the best horsemen in the game. A unit that you can, in theory, like we've seen. Speaking of a Marine Lords here, he can attest to it. Where I still remember that. Well, still remember. It hasn't been that long. It's not Alzheimer's, guys. It's Age of Empires. Where he just kept throwing Sipahi into Donzos non-stop, and he traded positively. It worked. And I just can't cope with that on a personal level.
Now, coping on a personal level aside, Crackety, are you ready to cope at this barracks we see in Dark Age? I love that. I am a fan of this aggression, but this is pretty standard for Ottomans, right?
It is, especially like when you're up against a civilization here like the French. Just immediately getting a little bit of value out on the map, and you know that the French could also be incentivized in going for an early dock play, so getting a little bit of presence up early onto the map, that's not a bad thing at all for Scarlet Devil here. So we already see the first spearman making his way out onto the map, Scout immediately scouting forward to try and see, is there a dock? Is my opponent going for a dock? Doesn't see a dock. Okay, so two spearmen it is, not going to be a third one. Sees the villagers on the gold. Gets that information, now starts trailing behind Valdemar Scout. Is going to be very sad when he doesn't find a lot of sheep this game.
Oh, good guy. The Scarlet Devil, he's been getting most of the food. This is Valdemar's turn. Maybe this time Valdemar gets to be the Poor guy. Crackety. Okay, this is really hard to watch. Poor guy. Valdemar is about to be visited by the gods of Ottomans, aka just the spearmen, just the early game. The little pokey pokes that we want to get out here. Now, luckily for him, he's got the gold he needs, but obviously, as French, you are just going to pop down that archery range. We saw it earlier today. French, they go for the archery range. They deal with the spearmen. They already got their transition going. So not much is lost, but it does give the momentum back to Scarlet. And Scarlet gets to decide, hey, what is next for me? I would love to see a little bit of that sheep count if our observer can press that button. I don't know if it's an easy button for them to press, but surprisingly, Valdemar not getting that much more.
Yeah, there's still some sheep out on the map, so he might still be in a position where he could get a big amount. Maybe there's another button that tells us exactly where the remaining sheep are on the map.
That button. Now, for Twitch chat, if you're wondering why we are making those noises, it's because there used to be a button that shows us Minecraft sheep on the minimap, but it looks like our observers did not set that up for this map. So unfortunately...
Oh, triple sheep. Okay.
Disgusting.
And Scarlet Devil isn't going in that direction. Wait, his dog sees the sheep, though. Okay, now he's going there.
Nice. So,
speaking of dogs, by the way, not
yeah.
only is Scarlet Devil going for Dark Age Spearman, but he's also going for dogs in the Dark Age. So this is like an incredibly greedy play here from him.
It does delay his age up by a lot. This might have a lot of consequences for him. Just because of that delayed age up, it's a tough one. The thing is, he's getting ahead with villagers because, of course, you now have fishing boats. But it's a pretty tough spot if you don't make this work. And I really hope for his sake he does. Because, of course, we want to see Ottomans make it a little bit further. And we want to see Ottomans doing a lot more damage and not just die to the first knight that eventually makes his way out. Because Valdemar, he's already got the wood ready. 170 in his pocket, ready to pop down that archery range. And I see that Scarlet Devil is pulling off of gold completely. He's like, I have enough. I just need to age up. That's all I need. Twin Minaret Madriz coming out, which is pretty standard choice here. But Scarlet Devil, and we see our sheep pretty evenly split here. We do still have 2 sheep on the map, and they will remain a mystery to the rest of us.
Yeah, Archer range now also coming in here for Valdemar, so is going to be going for the typical Archer and Knight army composition. The 2 sheep are still remaining that are going to be on Valdemar's side here. Scarlet Devil only went for 2 fishing ships here so far, so not too big of an investment. A very controlled investment, I want to say. Very controlled greed from him.
Now, I like the fact that he instantly pulls back. Like you said, it's controlled. He knows exactly how to not lose what he wants to not lose here. And that's definitely these spears, because he needs them to just be able to survive against the knights. Because eventually the knights are going to be arriving. We have full back on gold. So French is slowly but surely going to be French. They just need to get back on their feet. But now also getting a dock out, trying to get a little bit of a food income here, because we know that with French, these units are so expensive. And if you don't just constantly start producing, get control of the map, you are going to have a pretty hard time. Now, the archers' production is done. The wood, though, crackety. We might be seeing more than 1 dock here. Double dock. Double dock. We already have double dock here.
Could be triple dock. Why stop at double?
Especially with those cheap docks who, double dock, says Valdemar as well. So,
yeah, 2 players double docking on 2 pawns.
Valdemar and Scarlet Devil both wielding the double Ds in this game, ensuring that they get the presence on this map, but the scout pays the price. Disgusting. And Valdemar instantly queuing up that next scout. We've talked about this. You cannot let that scout die. And if you do, you need to make a new one. So you might want to be just getting your knights. You cannot just invest in knights. If you lose that scout, you better make another one. So definitely a pretty heavy loss here because it delays yet another knight.
Yeah, knight delayed now. Another knight is gonna be coming out. Is gonna be... Well, he sees the imams potentially. Never mind, I think that was just outside of their line of sight.
Yeah,
But he notices that he can't really aggress anything over there for the time being.
I like to see that Scarlet Devil is knowing exactly how much he gets to invest here. And 0 on gold, which I'm honestly very surprised about. He knows the limitations of his opponent's Civ is, you know, they want to find damage. They want you out on these resources. But if you just remove your villagers, keep everything together, and make as many units as you can, this starts to get very, very hairy. And now with the amount of spearmen here, 3 Sipahis, Valdemar is going to be having to deal with these Sipahis in his base. And that's exactly what's happening. Spearman, villager goes down. And that's a massive pickup at this stage of the game.
Yeah, every little bit counts here. Every little bit adds up. And Scarlet Devil, he is getting more and more Sipahi out on the field. And it starts really scaling. Looks like a villager here from Scarlet Devil is going to be going down, though, to those knights.
Ah, poor guy. He was carrying berries, working really hard. Now,
behind the sofa, total income, both players neck and neck. When it comes to the resources gathered here so far. One of the key aspects of this new interface that we got going here is actually knowing how many resources both players have gathered up so far.
Now, with these... Oh, my goodness. With these Sipahis, he is going to keep these knights busy. And this is what we've been seeing from Scarlet Devil constantly. He is just able to throw Valdemar off of, you know, doing what knights do best. Kill villagers. Now, those Sipahis are going to look for their own victims. But the knights, Valdemar is not making that mistake again. He's doing exactly what French loves to do. And now that is to find some dead villagers, or soon to be dead villagers, at least.
Valdemar, he's checking out the golds. Doesn't find any value over there, though. Oh, the imams! The imams! Scarlet Devil, these are losses that you cannot afford. Loses one of the imam. The other one is going to be oh, the other one does survive. But losing one of the imams for no reason. That is a heavy, heavy loss. And he better send that imam back to the base and just have him as a dedicated healer boy from now on. Because that imam does not want to step foot out anymore after that.
Oh, and just starting to lose these Sipahis to a knight. I'm honestly surprised at how much damage these guys are doing to knights. Disgusting. But luckily, he gets a bit of a kill there. That imam pickup is massive. This is what keeps Ottoman in feudal age willingly. Ottomans love staying in feudal. If they've got their imams, they've got their mechters, and they will fight it out, even against a knight civilization. But Scarlet now slowly going back on gold himself. Probably going to try and get a little bit of an economic upgrade like wheelbarrow so his villagers can actually run away from danger. But the spies take a pretty big hit here as well. We hear another vizier point. And it's...
That should have been the deer... No, actually, Scarlet Devil, did he go for the additional military school? Yeah, he went for the additional military school vizier point. Right at a point in time where he might have wanted to go for the sheep one, as his villagers are about to run out of sheep underneath the TC.
Especially with that heavy military school investment he already has. That was honestly a bit of a surprise. So guys, he doesn't have a single military school, and that's why I'm making this passive-aggressive comment. He's just not getting the military schools that we usually see from Ottomans, and this is quite surprising here. But the spearmen, though, they do not want these knights to collapse on these Sipahis, and rightfully so. But those Sipahis, you need to keep them as alive as you can. Get them back to base when they're low, and ensure that Imam does the healing. These knights also don't need to extend too much. Now they've got +1 range defense coming in. That's going to make sure that these archers do not just delete them every single time. Next up, Mechter.
Behind this, interesting to know that Valdemar, this entire time he didn't have a single economic upgrade, is finally getting wheelbarrow and double broadex. But these are the kind of things that can really hurt you long term, like especially as the French, where you do have that additional discount on those economic upgrades. Scarlet Devil equally hasn't gone for them yet.
They just want these military flights to be explosive and to do the work. Valdemar, I remember back in the day, this Valdemar has refuted this claim a few times by now, but back in the day, Valdemar was like, yeah, wheelbarrow is a little overrated. But this was like 2 years ago. And now here today, we see Valdemar showing wheelbarrow is overrated because you can just get on top of the military and take them down. Look at the Sipahis absolutely destroying everything in their wake. And when I say everything, I mean archers. Those archers are going to be so critical in dealing with those spears. But now Sipahis, they're just going to run back to safety.
Yeah, and a good couple of archers have been taken down there. Oh, he needs to be careful though. Sipahi, they're getting caught off guard. Scarlet Devil did not pay attention there. Is going to lose 1 to 2 Sipahi. Might even lose the third one if the charge does connect. It does not, but still heavy losses. Did take additional damage there that was not really necessary for him. But on the other hand side, Valdemar, he did lose a bunch of archers. So if there was a fight to break out now, yeah, this is... if there was a fight to break out, it would be a good one for Scarlet Devil with the amount of spearmen that he has.
Now those knights, they could have been looking at those vills, but they do not want to take any chances. Chivalry healing them up as little damage was dealt to one of those knights, but he is being pretty careful about this. Scarlet Devil now, he is the one with the Sipahis, and he can turn around and go to do some damage. The Mechter, though, needs to be in position here, because the moment he steps out, this gets very hairy, and we see those Sipahis doing exactly that, going straight for his opponent's base. Spearman now taking the life of a knight. We cannot leave any of them just harmed. We need to take them down.
Oh, the Sipahi
trying to block
able
them
to step
as well.
up, and he's going to get a couple of knights here. One knight. No, that was a scout. He actually lost a lot of Sipahi for that.
A little bit overestimating what those bad boys can do, especially with the low HP on them. He does need to be a bit careful. Now, Wheelbarrow coming in for Scarlet Devil. Valdemar, Scarlet Devil, both having Wheelbarrow. Guys, this just confirmed Wheelbarrow is not overrated. Just get it by 14 minutes. Hell yeah. I'm really happy to see that. Because now you can actually have your villagers run away from the horses running right at you. So this might make a bit of a difference when the raids continue, but looks like these guys are ensuring that they have their units together for the fights. Just the straight-on, head-on collisions. But 16 on gold, this usually spells something different. Oh, still no military school.
Not yet, but he did set himself up to explosively transition into them, if he so desired, already having the Vizier point for it. And Valdemar, he's still heavily investing into the military. He's not really thinking about going for an age up here, so... I believe that he's just waiting for Scarlet Devil to potentially go for his own age up and then try and go for like a haha got you type moment. And, oh, this is difficult. There's no scout there with the army from Scarlet Devil.
Oh, he's about to scout when those knights get on top of his face. The archer's about to go snipe out a few of these vills. Villagers getting pulled back now. He realizes this is more than a usual attack. Villagers need to go right into that TC to not die. Tower does go down. And unfortunately for him, this was a little bit of a bad timing to now go for the idea of castle. The thing is, the Sipahis, they're just around the corner, Crackety.
They are, and the Spearmen going for the fight here first. Sipahi coming around the backside. Spearmen up against Spearmen, actually cleaned up the Spearmen, funnily enough.
Now those Mechters
and now
definitely
Sipahi are going for the engagement. This isn't that looking that good for Scarlet Devil, though. He's down to 13 Sipahi now. Valdemar, is he doing it?
Oh.
This isn't looking bad for him at all. The villagers move forward as well. They got to pull back again.
Oh, no. It was just a little bit too soon. But unfortunately, the Vills will be paying a bit of a price here. Some villagers just standing idly next to that TC as they're trying to focus fire against these knights. Some of the spearmen trying to get as much damage as they can. Villagers now.
No. He used the Vizier point for the Janissaries without a single military school. He only spawned 2 of them. And they're already getting sniped out. That is GG. Scarlet Devil, he is not winning this game. No way in hell. Valdemar, he's getting a point on the scoreboard. 2-1 after this one.
And this was exactly what Valdemar needed. Sniping out something like the Ottomans does feel pretty good, especially if you are playing a civilization that is not that comfortable against the Imperial Ottoman playstyle. Nobody is, to be fair.
Yeah, we didn't have the military schools in that one. We're just gonna chop it up to that.
Yes.
I mean, imagine if he had like the 3 military schools, he would have had 8 janissaries. Then it would have like been a lot different.
Now, this was a pretty good feudal game to watch, though, and I think a lot of us may be seeing Sipahis against knights and seeing that knights, they do still have their place, doing a pretty good job at keeping this under control. Now, aside from that, I'm still waiting to see where my English is going to be played, because the upcoming game is not English. We're getting Byzantines against Rus, and I'm kind of excited for this, again, on Lipany as well. So now we have Lipany, which is a really good map for Byzantines, but at the same time, a really good map for Rus as well. How do you think this matchup usually now might play out with the horse archers not being so prevalent?
I feel like the horse archers are probably a lot better against Limitani now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they, you attack a lot quicker. I think that could be good. Other than that, though, I don't know. I'm not sure how exactly your best approach to this is in the end. Wait, what? Byzantine Mirror? No, that's not. Wait, no. Okay, Scarlet is Rus.
Okay, we got a little bamboozled there, but between these two, so how is the change? What is the change with horse archers? Can you break it down for us plebs? Yeah.
Basically, horse archers, they used to be at like 2.5 or 2.1 attack speed. So 2.1 to 2.5, I'm not sure what the exact value was, seconds between every single attack. Now it went down to like 1.7 seconds between every attack. So they attack a lot quicker. But their base damage went down from 12 to 10. So they lost a good amount of damage in exchange for a lot more attack speed.
Oh. Honestly, that's kind of okay. I can still see the use of them in some...
It is, but the big change here, of course, is that now it's no longer a do-it-all unit. Before, like, cav archers used to be able to beat horsemen. They used to be able to beat knights in pure mass just because you didn't need that many cav archers to get critical mass to start one-shotting units and just kite non-stop. Now you need a lot more of them. And it just started shifting the value proposition of the cavalry archer a lot. It's now a lot better as a raiding unit because you can kill villagers a lot quicker. It's good as a general backline, but you can't only spam them anymore.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh, I'm actually really excited to see what that translates into, what this means for the composition. Because, of course, that still sounds like you can go for horse archers for that early harassment, especially against Byzantines that likes to greed out by just getting all of their cisterns up and running. But at the same time, we've seen Rus and Feudal, and Rus and Feudal is still pretty scary, especially with them having the option of having knights. So, early knights, but still, knights. So, the trades do feel a little bit harder just when playing against the knight civilization. But Limitane, they also deal quite well with archers, to be fair. So
yeah, that's true.
From here on,
not dealing well, but they're a good front line.
Especially when you're trying to survive, at least, and the knights try to collapse. They do provide the front line that you need to get the knights on top of the archers eventually. Now, for the rest of this draft, because of course this can't be the final match because it's best of 7, so we have at least 2 more games. We still have Coastal Cliffs, Gorge, and Dry Arabia. And we can see that when we're doing a draft like this, with all these civilizations we have a lot more now than we did before. I think we're going to get to a point where some of these players are going to be choosing civilizations they're not as comfortable with. Because when we get to the top level, they usually can play at least 12 to 15 civilizations, but of course, not at the same level. So, I wonder when we reach that point. Because, of course, if you look at those previous games, I feel like maybe Valdemar and HRE was maybe one of those picks, saving another for a little bit later on. But we also have KT left. And I don't really know where KT could fit into all of this. KT used to be something that is always picked and always banned, even on something like Frisian Marshes. But in this case, it just doesn't look like it has a place.
It might just not come in, right? Like that's also just a potential there. It might just not come in. It might just not get played.
Okay. I need the duck luck though. Drackety, we need the duck luck today. We need to see some Gila elephants. We need to see what Reddit is molding about. Okay. But now
I've seen them. I've seen them, Wham. I can sympathize with the Redditors.
Who did this to you, Crackety?
I mean, just yesterday we saw B, like, with 20 raider elephants just annihilate an army during the trample. But enough of that. No tuck luck in this match as we're moving on to our game number 4 here on EGC Lipany. It is Valdemar playing in the color yellow as the Byzantines up against Scarlet Devil in the color red as the Rus.
And we see Valdemar going for the good old Byzantine opening, signaling that he is going for quite a few cisterns in this early stage, which makes a lot of sense. You're up against Rus. Rus is not a civ that has early pressure. You do have the time to capitalize on this. And Byzantine capitalizes so quickly. So pretty good spot there also for the winery. And you can see with his position, it might be get a little bit harder as the time goes on, because his next berry bush is very far forward, very far to the side, and it does look like this is not going to be the easiest place for Valdemar to go out on the map and live his best Byzantine life.
I mean, it's always an issue when you're up against Rus when it comes to the scouting baseline, right? Like, Rus just tends to find more sheep, because, surprise, more scouts, more sheep. Can we check Valdemar's scouting pattern here so far? Okay, remaining sheep in the middle. I think overall... Yeah, okay, Valdemar's not going to get any more sheep at all in this game.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's going to be 17 to 10 sheep. Could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be worse, he says. But 2 sheep is pretty bad. Oh, never mind. He already delivered some of them. I realize that now. I'm just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, Crackety, what are you going on about? And then I see what we've got there in the bottom. Never mind. We've got enough sheep. He will be all right. This is Byzantines after all. Now, both of them going up with the most standard landmarks that we know in this game. And Scarlet Devil going straight onto that wood as we see now what the Rus opening will look like. We got a little bit of idle time there on the TC, but just ensuring that he gets the food going there. And now starting to chop himself. Now, we've got 2 cisterns already up, not connected yet. But Valdemar with 2 on stone all the way through is going to signify that we're going to get at least 3 and make this a pretty solid economy early on.
Yeah, it should most definitely be a very solid economy here. Playing as the Byzantines, that's kind of to be expected, right? And the second cistern is already up, just needs to get connected now. Might just wait for the third cistern to start connecting them. Gotta work out a little bit of a pattern here.
Now, with the winery at the back, it does mean that he's going to have pretty safe access to those berries, at least for a while. Now, we've been seeing most people just go for longbows. And yes, longbows, they're great, but you're up against Rus. Do we see a little bit of spicy aim towards the camels to get the javelin throwers from the start? Oh, he pulls off just a little bit too early there. But
I would go for it. Especially against the cav archers as well. Like, just having the javelin throwers there as well. Like, they do bonus damage up against the cavalry archers. They're faster as well, so you're much more mobile to react to raids. I would go for it. I would go for the javelin throwers here.
Okay, and you sound really sure about this. I can hear it in your voice. You're like, yes, javelin throwers, that's the answer here. But we do see a production building coming down now, and I did not see. That was way too fast. Our observer is really fast. He reads faster than all of us. Archery range it is. So with 4 villagers, meaning that we are going to get some really early archers. The scouts instantly going to burn this down, villager. Taking the life of that sheep. Very undeserved. Disgusting. And just getting every bit of stone they can. Now
behind
it does look like Valdemar is not going to be prioritizing some of those upgrades too early on as he's waiting out for the wheelbarrow, just does not have enough wood in the bank just yet.
And Scarlet Devil is going for an archer opening here. We do already have the archer range. The first archer is making his way out onto the map. Behind this, are we going to be seeing many more archers? The army split, or rather the economy split, kind of tells me no. And we do get pro scouts in behind this at all. I'm not 100% certain as to the purpose of the one archer that we see here out so far.
It's to deal with the spears, Grackety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them. I can see them. What happened? The spearmen.
So this could have been a blind counter. So Scarlet, obviously, with all the scouts in the world, he just assumed that Valdemar would be going for spearmen to try and shut down the pro scouting. But no, Valdemar did not go for spears. Valdemar is very much happily not going for spears. He's just living his best life, getting double broadaxe now, connecting his cisterns, level 4 coming in, and getting longbows himself.
This man lacks imagination. He doesn't see the vision. No javelin throws in this game.
Crackety, this is why you and I are not in this tournament. Actually, Crackety, why didn't you play qualifiers? What happened?
I'm bound by Vodafone.
Oh, yes, I can hear. Never mind. So for those of you wondering why he's saying that is he's been a little bit disconnected here and there, and sometimes we yap over each other due to it. It is what it is.
I mean, it's literally every time I play a game, I randomly disconnect for like 30 seconds, and that in combination with tournament games is a big no-no. I'm already like crossing fingers for Outback Octagon.
Oh, have you ever tried to get good and just use normal internet, or is that just not on the cards for you?
Fiber is coming in December. Vodafone has been doing everything they can to block me from getting it, and I mean that literally. I had they canceled the contract 3 times due to just screwing up details. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Initially, I was meant to have fiber 8 days ago. Now it's gonna be in a month from now.
And I hope you guys hear this now, because this means Crackety is going to be back in the pro scene, destroying these players into the qualification rounds. Quick and easy.
I'm gonna give it a solid shot. I got 30 days of vacation in December, so I'm gonna go ham.
Oh my goodness, European countries and all their leave days. I know you Americans in chat are quaking in your boots right now as we're staring at this tower on a... Oh, never mind, we're back, but the berries are about to run out. And... now, Valdemar needs to move out into a position that might be a little bit more susceptible to any level of raiding, and with that extra little bit of archery range. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for a little bit of horse archers?
It is time. Scarlet Devil, the high trade house, is gonna be coming up here for him. Nice position as well. Valdemar is gonna spot this one out, but nothing he can really do about that. There's a horseman, not a horseman, a scout. That is bringing the deer away.
Now, the horseman actually handling these archers very well, as we can see those archers. Definitely an investment, but not something that he's going to need for too long. As the knight is now in queue as well. The Scarlet Devil is aging up, but we have to keep in mind he's aging up with not a lot of gold. So this is not the same roost that we had before. This is not the roost that loves sitting in their base and just letting the high trade house do the ticking and all these hunting cabins. You actually need to respond to what your opponent is doing, and you need to get some gold when the time arises. But the knight is the weapon of choice. The longbows are standing in position, and he does need to be careful here.
And that's going to be one villager going down, the longbows with their extra range. Making sure of that. Scarlet Devil, so far, there aren't any Cav Archers coming in. Instead, it is going to be a couple of Knights first. Valdemar is prepping the Limitani behind this, though.
Now, respecting the fact that those longbows might just be cleaning him up if he decides to do so. But you can see here with all the villagers right here on the deer, this is going to mean that deer is going to run out so fast as he's desperately trying to get more units. And no villagers are out here trying to collect even a bit of wood.
It looks like there's not going to be any cavalry archers this game. Instead, it's going to be straight archers. Veterancy coming in as well. Veterancy on the early knights now as well.
And it does look like the units of Valdemar is backing off for the time being as they're plotting their next attack. Now, Valdemar doing this, if you are investing here into a ram, you have to commit to this. Because now you're up against the man going knights, you have to put your Limitane in position, and you need to make this count. But keep in mind, most of his units are right under the TC, but they can't be here forever, because this is not going to be able to last for him. Getting 2 more knights in queue here, and... Ooh, 2 knights! And 2 knights for Scarlet Devil. I think we have a little bit of a UI situation, so I guess they're just from 2 different stables, or Castle Age and Feudal Age ones.
Rather from a different stable.
It's too late for that, Kraken. Come on. But a solid amount of archers here, though. And we have yet another stable trying to
Just
keep
getting
this
gold
healthy.
from the bounty and the exchanges from the from the Golden Gate. It's working out well for him. Scarlet Devil is starting to mass up a sizable military here. He doesn't have any blacksmith upgrades. He doesn't have any economy upgrades, but what he does have is charisma.
He's got charisma. Krakeny is all he needs,
It's not going to
actually,
keep the villagers
right?
alive, though.
Ooh, not that one especially. The next boy's another one pays the price, but that's just the cost of hunting deer. You need to be... Ooh, disgusting. Yet another heavy shot. These archers are melting. And right now, Scarlet Devil is running for his dear life. Oh, no.
Kirasiphon is moving around now over to the High Trade House. More and more knights coming in, though, and Valdemar, he's trying to go for a potential age up behind this, so this aggression is mostly just feign so far. The knights, they're lacking some pierce armor upgrades. And looks like Scarlet Devil is now going for the engagement. Oh, this could be bad for Valdemar if he's gonna lose his army here as he's trying to age up. He's not gonna hit the ground running with the age up then.
Now the horses also stop from going around, which means Scarlet Devil successfully got the villagers back onto wood for now at least. And the archers going to be going straight for the spears, but now... Oh, they are going to go down, but the knights, they are going right through, trying to do a little bit of damage to these longbows. And keep in mind, these longbows are not going to get replaced anytime soon. Golden Horn Tower, trying to get it up as fast as possible, but he needs to be careful here at the same time. Horses trying to get on top of those archers, but those are veteran archers. They are not going to mind that too much.
Yeah, Knight's doing a great job here. Horseman trying to distract.
Does look like a spear is able to distract as well. Beautifully intercepted there, but it looks like Scarlet Devil backs off in this moment. It just feels like it's a little bit quick to back off. This is a position where you are on the attack. You have your upgrades above your opponents, and is he just a little bit worried that he's going to be losing a lot more to Limitane? Now, the upgrades come in very quickly for Byzantines. He's now doing his farm transition as well. He needs to get this food up and running. And soon enough, this Golden Horn Tower is going to be producing units at the speed of light.
First monk made its way onto the field now for Valdemar. Scarlet Devil about to be getting his first monk out now as well. It's a ton of archers out on the field for Valdemar, of course, with the passive, or rather, passively active production of the longbowman here. Does have a lot of units on his own side. We're finally getting the first blacksmith upgrade now for Scarlet Devil. Definitely a necessary one, as these knights kind of feel like they're made out of paper when facing off against the longbowman here from Scarlet Devil.
And now it looks like Scarlet Devil wants to keep doing this. He wants to keep attacking, but the problem is you are up against Byzantines, and even though this economy feels like it's pretty even, It's definitely not. This is a fully
Yeah.
functional cistern economy. And you had your moment, but that moment is now past. And if you keep engaging like this is where you lose everything. Now with those horses as well, they're just running a little bit faster than yours, so they will be able to poke you in the butt when you run back to home. But the cataphracts, nice and slow, so he is going to be able to get some sort of opening. The problem is just Scarlet Devil is out here on the map going for berries, and that's usually not a good sign for the risk player.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation for Scarlet for sure at this point, right? Like he is now out of deer inside of his base, so the pro scout timing is over. He is still getting a significant amount of food courtesy of the high trade house. And Valdemar, he managed to secure his own deer underneath the cistern aura as well. So he's getting a ton of food in right now, 1.3k food per minute compared to just 450 on Scarlet's side. There's also still a ton of upgrades missing, blacksmith-wise, from Scarlet Devil, so Valdemar, he's got a very strong timing here. We're now up to already 6 cataphracts with even more in queue, so he's almost got the same count of cataphracts that Scarlet Devil has in terms of knights. And this is starting to become really, really ugly now for Scarlet Devil. We see a Warrior Monk also getting sniped out early here before the engagement. Knights just get a little bit too close.
Now, the archer numbers, that's a solid amount of them, but 18 longbows are still going to be a little bit scarier in this instance. But it looks like these knights are having a little bit of a field day, as these cataphracts can just not catch up with them. The towers, though, the DC and the towers, just the perfect amount of coverage to ensure that these villages stay mostly alive. Now, from this, we see still longbows being prioritized here. We do have a few Landsknechte that popped out there from the Golden Horn Tower, but you can see Valdemar is ensuring that his investments are going towards longbows. And this is so crucial, especially when you're up against someone with this much of an archer investment. Yours do outrange just a little bit, and you can try to kite, especially with that heavy front line he's got going, and cataphracts being a solid part of it.
Looks like Scarlet Devil is going to be able to bring at least 3 out of the 5 relics back so far. Looks like Valdemar might be able to get the second one in on his side as well. At least it looks like it for the time being. So far, Scarlet Devil just keeps investing more and more into the archer count here for the time being. But it's always so difficult up against the longbows. And looks like Valdemar might be going for a little raid here. Scarlet Devil does realize, though, villagers are getting pulled to the sides there. One villager was very adamant about wanting to, you know, give that cataphract a hand and be like, yeah, let's shake hands on this. But instead of a hand, he received a sword.
A sword that sliced him in half, definitely. Now, the farm transition here does look a little bit tough. You get to a point where you're constantly wanting to raid Byzantines, and you are able to do damage. But right now, there's just not enough farms to do raiding on top of. And, very quickly, he takes down so many of these units, and there's only 3
Valdemar.
crossbows in the mix.
He's getting so much value in here. The archer's just now realizing that they're taking the worst engagement, and GG comes in. Valdemar evens out the set in the 4th game. 2-2 now between them.
Valdemar showing up Byzantines is still a very much a comfort pick for a lot of players. This was phenomenal. Valdemar knew when to engage, when to pull back, except for the one time around the TC. It looked like he almost threw it there, but it tends to happen when you're not fully committed to one thing. He was trying to take a fight and do damage, and at the same time, it was just type of a bait so that he could age up behind it. But sometimes when your opponent takes the bait, things can spiral out of control. Luckily for Valdemar, he is a big enough Chad to be able to come back from that and ensure that his army trades effectively.
Yeah, it's so important in these kind of situations when you're down 2 points to keep the mental on your side. And I believe the last game before that was very crucial for Valdemar to be able to reset his mental after that. We're now moving over to Coastal Cliff. It's going to be a Shushi Legacy game up against the Ayubids from Scarlet Devil. And this is one where I once again feel like, okay, civilization-wise, with the Ayubids, Scarlet Devil should have the leg up here. Recently, like, the last game, I was like, okay, Rus versus Byzantines, that is, in my opinion, clearly Byzantine favorite, so I'm not too surprised as to how that went here so far. This one, I want to say Ayyubids, in my opinion, is... like, I hear it from Myriad and just other players as well, from time to time, and in my experience as well, I think Ayyubids, they just work so well into these fast-caster civilizations as well.
Now, Zushi itself, though, is not something we've gotten to see too much because, again, people still are seeing them as a little bit of a problematic civilization. And what about the nerfs affected Zushi? What is the major thing we'd be looking at out here? Is it just the Pro Scout nerfs?
Oh, Shushi hasn't really been nerfed. They haven't really been touched that much.
Okay.
It's like similar to China, the Pro Scout, but the Pro Scouting isn't really the biggest of nerfs when it comes to just scouting in your own deer. It's mostly about you can't take away the deer from your opponent, because if you do, you lose out on like 50% of the food there. And you're already losing out on like roughly like 5 to 10% on the food of your own deer just from the DK. It is very even. Like Shushi and China, they didn't lose that much from the Pro Scout nerf. It's more like not, yeah, as I mentioned, just not being able to take your opponent's deer. And Ayyubids in general, I feel like, are just a really solid civilization the longer Castle Age like goes on. Just being able to mass up those Camel Lancers and then adding in archers and just pretty much anything behind that as well. And if you go for like a mass of infantry, it is absolutely doomed when the Manganiques come in. Like, Manganiques are the thing of nightmare for like mass infantry, because you can be the most micro-gifted person in the world and spread out your military as much as possible. Once those flaming rocks come in, they do not discriminate.
And that is the position I think most of us have been against in the Ayyubid matchup. And with Coastal Cliffs, I feel like there is a lot more opportunity for you to deny your opponent from the deer. You don't need to spread out as much, but at the same time, usually that can be a bad thing. But as Ayyubids, I don't think that's too much of a problem. With Zushi, they're a civ that likes to go and get the food, out-sustain, outdo, but Ayyubids has very good responses to this. And I kind of like the fact that they have choices, because again, Scarlet Devil, not a meta player. We've said this again and again, and Scarlet Devil could just pull out something that we're just not used to. I think the previous time he did go for the Dervishes. Oh, wait, no, he went for Eco Wing. The Dervishes was someone else. So both of those still being up for grabs, but I think in this case, the Dervishes would actually make sense. Especially when you're up against Zushi and you don't just want them to take full control of the map and you want to make sure that you're actually contesting it. But then again, Eco gives you that as well. That's the crazy part. Ayyubids have so many answers, Crackety. It can go in 50 different directions. But for the rest of this series, by the way, because still, guys, there's at least 2 games left, so I hope you're ready. We still have 2 civilizations that need to be picked, or at least 1 civilization that need to be picked from here. And we have Tuklak on the side of Scarlet Devil, so I'm crossing fingers, or holding thumbs, as we say in my country, and hoping we get a little bit of Tuklak action pretty soon.
Could be coming in, but for now we're gonna be jumping into our game number 5 of Valdemar versus Scarlet Devil. It is going to be the Shushi Legacy up against the Ayyubids here on Coastal Cliffs. Just a couple of seconds until we're loading in, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Valdemar in the color yellow is the aforementioned Shushi's Legacy. Scarlet Devil has the Ayyubids, and do we see anything spicy here so far? Nothing yet.
No.
And to be fair, like in this matchup, nothing spicy to be expected until we get to the feudal age.
Now, looking at the spawns, though, I see a double gold there for Mr. Valdemar, and that can be good, but it can also be pretty rough, right? This is a spot where when your opponent gets control, you're in a little bit of a situation, especially with the camel riders there, but we do see a little pointing out there as there's a landmark that Zushi has on offer, and that's the Meditation Gardens. So the Meditation Gardens you can place right in the middle there. You get double gold, stone, and berries, which is a pretty decent income. Passively.
Yeah, the Question is, can we quickly check again? Like, what are the spots here for Valdemar for the potential? I mean, actually, right in his base, double gold, stone, and maybe he can clip some of the. Yeah, this is. Damn. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good spot. I'd be happy with that.
Now, the sheep coming to base here, not the biggest of loots, but definitely enough to hold Eobids afloat when times get tough. But Valdemar is definitely the man coming out ahead in these. I'm guessing that little nice sheep counter is about to pop up on the screen as I'm talking about it. Otherwise, I'm just going to be rambling. There we go. Valdemar, he's through the halfway mark, and there's still two sheep up for grabs somewhere on this map.
We are going to be getting the Culture Wing logistics in here now for Scarlet Devil, so is going to be having those dervishes coming in for him early on. Meditation Garden now coming in for Valdemar, and yeah, this is a beautiful spot for it. He is clipping the stone as well, so truly just a nice and, you know, very respectable 113 resources per minute here. Very distinguished.
Now, that meditation garden is going to make his life a lot easier. And this is what we see with Zushi in general. Usually, that little bit of eco helps so much. But with dervishes at the same time, you get into a spot where you can defend against most aggression. But with that split we see from Scarlet Devil, he's not going to be aggressive in any measure. He's just going to go straight for castle. We've got almost no villages on wood, just enough to keep getting a house every now and again, but the rest of it is fully spread out to go straight towards the castle age, which I think is pretty wild. Valdemar, though, with the Zushi, we're probably going to see some pro scouts here pretty soon, as we have 6 on wood, just enough to put down a production building, which could be a nice little stable pretty early on. Now, Scarlet Devil does his scouting. He sees exactly what he needs to see, and he's like, hey, I'll be doing the thing, and just going straight up for castle. Oh, crackety, I'm so excited to see the fast castle from Eobids.
It is a pretty strong build here coming in for Scarlet Devil behind this. I think Valdemar is most likely just going to be going for the good old classic time-tested pro scout.
The thing is, with that pro scouting, it does make sure that your age up is a little bit slower. But at the same time, with all that food, you should be able to sustain against most. Now, he instantly sees the stable, knows what he's up against, because that stable signifies pro scouting. Especially with him not going to need to do damage here in the early stages. You see the first scout now queued up, I assume. Yeah, there we go. Finally showing up there on the UI. And that is pro scouts coming in hot for Valdemar, but he's not pulling off of gold just yet. And this, I think, is pretty good, because this means that he can most likely keep up with the fast castle age up. And this is something we need to keep in mind. When you're playing Zushi's Legacy and you stay in Tang Dynasty, I believe, you get a much cheaper age up, and your villages build really fast, so you can respond quickly.
I think we might be getting a reinforcement wing age up here from Scarlet Devil. Potentially. Just judging by how he greedily gulped up those berries. He didn't like try and optimize for the eventual economic wing growth.
So he's going to look for some action on the map. I can see that. I can definitely see how this would be valuable, especially with that constant reinforcement. You get so much value over time, and you force your opponent to just deal with desert raiders, which are absolutely annoying to handle. Doesn't matter what units you have, especially when they pop out every now and again. Now, those relics, though, they are going to be a nice catch for himself. And it's time for the age up. Reinforcement it is. Crackety, you called it perfectly.
Reinforcement means that he is going to have access to a lot of these desert raiders coming in for him. It's going to be nice for him, especially in the early timing. If there's just a couple of spearmen, the desert raiders can just snipe them out with their ranged attack. And it also means that he's gonna have a lot of map presence to take the relics. Relics, by the way, which Valdemar is now moving out to try and wall off.
Valdemar knows that this is the pretty standard play, and investing a little bit here is quite critical. But the problem is, dervishes, they do a pretty good job at surviving even when you're busy attacking them, and they're holding a relic running back to base.
This is a little bit of a throwback to 2023 when civilizations against a civilization like HRE, for example, used to just move out a villager onto the map to try and wall off the relics before Castle Age comes in.
And now we realize that making units just hits a little bit differently. Now Valdemar is doing that as well. The thing is, with him making these units, he's delaying his own Castle Age. And usually, when you're up against Aeobids, it snowballs pretty quickly. Now, Valdemar still has a lot of options here, but Jugunu are usually not the answer you're looking for when you're up against a lot of Camel Lancers. Now, Camel Lancers are not on the cards just yet. We don't know what production building he has back there, but we do see these dervishes standing not in position to pick up the relics, but rather a little bit safely back at base. And that first stable coming out now, which means we're going to be seeing some Camel Lancers pretty shortly.
Ooh, Dervish healing comes in to save the day. Villager not going to be going down. Sees the units that are coming in here from Valdemar. Only 5 seconds left on that reinforcement wing. And there we go. Immediately 3 Desert Raiders hitting the field.
That's great. But we also have a barracks, Crackety. Crackety, there's a barracks. So we know what's about to happen. I'm just getting a little bit of a Gulam play here as well.
Archer range coming in as well. So a little bit of everything here potentially.
It makes sense. You're up against Sushi. They have pretty good answers to most things, but not to Gulams. Gulams are pretty good at surviving a little bit of fire, especially with no military upgrades.
Scarlet Devil, he's about to find out that all the relics are a little bit walled off at this point in time.
That guy just running around, ready to go towards, but in for a little bit of a surprise. We do see, oh, beautiful. Now we just need a little bit of micro from these guys, and they should be able to do this pretty well. Scarlet Devil's a very, very fast player, so this is not going to be anything too new for him. But archers are now made, and absolutely 0 Gulams were made today. I got way too excited about a single barracks.
They might still come in a little bit later down the line.
Thank you, Crackety. I needed that. Now, Valdemar, he keeps making units. He's staying in feudal and he's committing to this. But you do have to keep in mind he's making units that don't cost a lot of gold. So eventually the eco will just allow him to age up. But Scarlet Devil is not allowed to run away with this unit advantage just yet. The scout does go down, and it looks like Valdemar is going to need to put a different scout here on patrol. But the dervishes are going to be needing to heal these up. He's only got 1 relic in the base, and Zushi is doing a pretty good job at keeping him under control.
Yeah, now he sees, oh wait, this relic gun as well? Damn. I can't get it. Door's stuck.
Now, going for all of the deer on the other side of the map, that is now Valdemar's way. He will be able to get a little bit of that food, but of course it's about denying it from Scarlet Devil here. He needs to make sure that Scarlet Devil is starved out, because oh my goodness, he is.
This Raider's about to be getting that veterancy upgrade now. Still lacking Pierce armor though. That is always very dangerous when you're up against Jugunu, especially since Pierce damage is about to come in for Valdemar. Valdemar, by the way, still not really working towards that age up. He did just put a couple more villagers over to gold, so might still be thinking about it. Hoping that can come in soon for him.
Yeah, especially with all this food he's getting back to base. This does feel pretty decent for him. But you can see here Scarlet Devil, he's on the deer. He's out here trying to make as much as he can. He knows that he needs to land damage and land it quick. Because Aeobids in a farm transition is not an Aeobids you want to be. But there's still a lot of berries on the map here. He's still got full berry patches here. He just doesn't want to risk anything. But Valdemar now ready to click that age up pretty soon. And now that's going to mean that there are going to be Lancers joining this fight. But it looks like Scarlet Devil is going to go straight for the relics.
Desert Raiders on the range stands aren't going to be pulling out their torches yet. Mount Blue Academy coming in for Valdemar, so we'll be getting some additional Imperial official upgrades here soon for him. Yeah, he'll be able to get a lot more upgrades in now as well. Once that supervision upgrade comes in, those upgrades are going to just fly in.
Now, Valdemar getting those Jugunu upgraded. They're definitely going to do a much better job against those Camel Lancers, even though there aren't that many just yet. Now, he also gets +2 ranged attack, which means this becomes a very different fight the moment that comes in, because any armored unit, they also just take a little bit more damage, which means that Scarlet Devil, he's probably going to need to be a little bit more active on the map instead of just waiting for Valdemar to move into him.
Yeah, he did just get in the second relic. We do also have a monastery in for Valdemar, so he will also want to be working on getting those relics in. Scarlet Devil should be able to secure at least a third relic now behind this. As the army from Valdemar is way too far into his base in order to really deny this from Scarlet Devil. We're also now up to 9 Desert Raider, courtesy of the, just free Desert Raiders from the Reinforcement Wing. So the army count is steadily rising here for Scarlet Devil.
The problem is Scarlet Devil's army count is rising, but he is not really getting an answer to the Jugunu. Now, I know the Jugunu, in theory, the archers should be okay against them, but this still feels like it's a pretty good fight that Valdemar could win, if taken correctly. So Scarlet Devil has to micro quite well here. He's got a lot of spears on the side, and Scarlet Devil, this is going to be a tough game. Especially if he doesn't get anything to handle that mass. I know that he's playing a Civ that can possibly make Manganiques in the field, which is going to benefit him so much. But it doesn't look like he's getting into a position to do any of that. And the relic has been grabbed.
Your prayers have been answered. We are getting Golems in now from Scarlet Devil. So he's going to add a little bit more for frontline. But yeah, Manganiques, I think, are like the play now for Scarlet Devil to potentially go for. He's gotten 3 relics, he got one of the sacred sites, he's getting a good amount of passive gold income in. He's keeping Valdemar on his toes. Valdemar has a very, very slow maneuvering army. Scarlet Devil has to be very careful, though, with how he's gonna, position his army here.
Those archers need to be in prime position. But it looks like the scouts are going to be taking the first few hits. The camels need to pull back right now, otherwise...
Scarlet Devil lost a lot of the camel lances here, or their health at the very least. But the Jugunu, they only tickle the camel lances at the front line. Once again, he's just throwing the camel lances away.
And
that is not worthwhile.
That is not the micro we needed for this one. And you can see the Dervish desperately trying to heal up some of these units. The archers trying to do the work. The thing is, Valdemar's army is also getting thinned out here. And honestly, the army from Scarlet Devil, the Camel Lancers, are eventually going to outscale them quite a bit here. Crossbows now coming in as well. Yeah. And just like that, Scarlet Devil, his free Desert Raiders just doing the work.
I mean, yeah, it's just pray and pray at that point. I did not expect Scarlet Devil to trade out that well when I saw he just threw away the Camel Lancers like that. But I guess the Desert Raiders were strong enough to make up for it.
And with the sheer amount he still has, those were mostly untouched. So maybe a few going down and all that, but again, they come back for free. So now this becomes a pretty scary push because Valdemar, he's slowly tapping out the deer that he had in his base. And all the expensive units he had here is now pretty much cooked. The Scarlet Devil facing his opponent here at 6:30 a.m. in China. And Valdemar sitting here past midnight, trying to ensure that he takes this last spot in the EGC event. And honestly, Scarlet Devil has been looking a little bit more solid. He's played this game at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. You know, it's just something he's used to. But now Valdemar also getting a little bit more upgrades here and there. The problem is just he doesn't have a good response to these Desert Raiders. I don't really know what the good response would be.
Yeah, the Desert Raiders, they're just kind of like in mass. They have a similar value proposition that the cavalry archers do, or rather did from the Rus.
Like a
Except that
casual
they
unit.
also attack really quick with high base damage, but they are more expensive. But yeah, they have really, really good attack speed.
And it looks like he wants to utilize that. We see the villagers there on the berries just, they're trying to gather as long as they can, but they're not going to be alive for too much longer. As these units are just splitting apart the main army from Valdemar. Valdemar trying to get a little bit of a connection here, but the Desert Raiders are just kiting backwards. And we see that tower readily enforced now. But the Vils inside, they're still in a little bit of danger. Sacred Side timer ticking now at under 7 minutes. And it just looks like Valdemar is not going to have the army to handle this.
Yeah, Scarlet Devil, he's going for the death push. A lot of archers here. He's moving in deeper and deeper. Gulam's just so proficient at tanking up against the Jugenu there. Crossbow still doing a decent amount of damage, but Scarlet Devil behind this also with the Sacred Side control. Forcing Valdemar to make a move eventually.
Now this army from Valdemar is going to be as big as it gets, with the food slowly just getting tapped out. Now, one single Lancer added in, but that just doesn't feel like the number he needs to handle this. The problem is there's just nothing else in store for him. Zhangyan Tower now coming out, which is going to mean we have a Song Dynasty and a cheaper farm transition will be underway. But he needed this yesterday.
There's the first Manjanique now as well for Scarlet Devil. And once that Manjanique count starts building up, whammon, I told you. Burning rocks, they do not discriminate. They slay all men equally.
Now, we'll see how heavy that hit can be, but for now, they are still just normal old rocks. Let's see them switching over to the fiery rocks next. But that tower is going to be the target, and these units do not care about a little bit of a springald emplacement. Valdemar knows if this tower goes down, the rest of his base is next. Camelance is getting to the front lines, tanking quite a bit of damage and just getting healed up here at the back. Manjanique just hitting those units on their faces, and very quickly they will get targeted down by everything else. The Gulams now being the front lines, but still that tower is like a thorn in his side, still not going down.
Valdemar trying his best, stepping back time and time again, but the units just aren't dying quickly enough in the back line, completely untouched behind this. The farms that he just put up cannot get to work, and with that, villagers inside of the TC, but the entire military force is going to be going down. GG comes in. Scarlet Devil now positioning himself at match point 3-2 up against Valdemar in this best of 7.
Now, we need a final game of English from Scarlet Devil. So, I know...
You want to see the Louis strat?
I know! I want to see the win strat. I want to see my home civilization just do its work. But honestly, this was pretty good play here by Scarlet Devil. I feel like Valdemar did things correctly for a lot of it on paper. He did an amazing job at denying the food. But it was just that little bit of a timing where all the villagers were in the south on the deer, and it just gave Scarlet Devil the resources he needed to out-sustain. Guys, we won't be seeing English, but we will be seeing Mongols, which, I mean, that's okay, right? I can live with that.
Yeah, I want to quote somebody here. Wait a second. I gotta find the quote before I'm gonna quote.
Crackety opening his quote folder right now. He's like, I need
there
to
it is. I got the quote.
Yes?
To Mongols, civs feel really bad all around. Now guess who said that?
Wait. 2 Mongols.
In regards to Mongols, the civilization
Okay.
feels bad all around.
I think that is Valdemar.
No, it was Wham. It was Wham.
It was
OG
Wham. Okay.
Mongol lover.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I assumed it was relevant to this game, but okay. Wham's quote being used here. I thought we were going to get like a legendary Valdemar quote. As in he's going up against
was
Mongols.
Wham. Like Wham
Okay.
is a big Mongol appreciator, but he thinks that they're not that strong at the moment, and I would tend to agree with them. Like, we certainly have a lot more interesting civilizations at the moment in the game. And Delhi is one of those civilizations that I think is just, in general, pretty strong baseline. Like, the Ghazi Raider against Kashik, that's just a match made in hell, so to say. Like, the Kashiks, they're not going to have a great time in that matchup. You pay for a knight-type unit that loses to a horseman. That's not cool. That's not okay.
What horseman destroys a Kashik?
Oh, Ghazi Raiders.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, never mind. I was a little bit too excited there. Okay. Yeah, definitely in this matchup, it does not feel like an easy position here, because Mongols, they're so good at feudal aggression against most civilizations, but yeah, I feel like Delhi do have answers. Is this a position where Mongols would go for a Dark Age rush in any capacity, or would that
No.
just be a waste?
Yeah, it's a waste. You don't want a Dark Age rush with Mongols against Delhi.
Okay,
It
because
doesn't
they don't
really
need gold?
benefit you. Yeah, I mean, they don't need gold for upgrades, for one. Like, you don't really hurt them on their timing. And if you do arrive with the spearman, like, they're just gonna pull a scholar, out-heal you until, like, the third spearman arrives. And
That's true.
in
makes
general,
sense.
like, Mongol is a little bit delayed on when their spearmen come in baseline, right? Like, because you want to get the Uwu in first, you want to wait for the stone to double produce the first batch. So the first spearmen just come in at a relatively late time, and it's a whole thing, Whammon. It's a whole thing.
Okay. Well, it does sound like Delhi has a lot similar answers to what HRE does, so it makes a lot of sense. I can see this happening. I like the fact that there are some civilizations that you can pick that will counter what Mongols is, but I have a question about the draft here, because what I just saw in chat is that the draft here is different. Is this the snipe draft that they're using?
This is I mean, so far for the tournament, it stayed the same between, like,
Okay.
the best of fives and the best of seven. You ban 2 civs, and yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's no change between the best of 5 and best of 7s, other
Okay.
than more civs.
All right, yeah, just checking, because I know that there was talk about specific tournaments having a situation where you can snipe.
Oh yeah, the
their
draft for
opponents.
this tournament is different compared to previous EGC.
In what way? Is it because of the sniping? Or is there sniping happening?
I'm not sure if it was already like this in the last tournament in the Masters Fall. I think it already was like this in the Masters Fall. I'm not 100% certain, but basically the amount of bans and when they came in did change.
Okay, makes sense. So go. So we're just
so
getting
now
whispered
it's,
at.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Production told us it's 2 bans, pick and ban, up from ban, pick, ban.
And now, because of that, we get to see more. We finally get to see Mongols being played on not a hybrid map. I like that.
I
Pretty
also like
safe.
what Scarlet
Ooh.
Devil is doing here. Instead of going for the baboon strategy and still trying to make a Dark Age rush happen with the Mongols, it's not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. He instead just started off with the villagers on gold. Immediately gets the gold that he wants for the age up, and is now just going to pull the villagers. He's going to pull the villagers back to food. There we go. Oh, he put the sheep next to it. That's cute.
Very efficient. Very demure. I like that.
Very distinguished.
And Scarlet Devil just inspiring a whole generation to play Mongols as well. Guys, make Mongols great again so that we can get it back on ladder and I can farm a few more ranked points. Thank you very much. So,
Coming from an English main, wow.
English
Wow.
2TC, baby. 2TC. Now, Valdemar actually playing against a Mongol who's going to go feudal at a normal time. I don't know what world we're living in, but this feels like a pretty good day. Scarlet Devil, he's now on match point, and a wise man recently told me that when you're on match point, you don't do crazy stuff. You usually play things a little bit safer. And I don't know if Scarlet Devil is the kind of guy who would do that. I feel like Scarlet Devil is the kind of guy who will do something crazy. So dealing with Delhi especially, they don't have the usual spots where you get to put pressure. So I would love to see what Scarlet Devil devises here, as he is going to play against those Ghazi Raiders, like you said, that will just handle the Keshiks so well.
Big shout out to Scarlet Devil, expertly maneuvering around the sheep here, making sure not to find a couple here and there. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's just unfortunate sometimes with the line of sight, right? Like, he's just... it's so close! It's so close, Whammit! He's just barely maneuvered around like 3 sheep there. Oh my god. Sometimes it's just sad to see.
Sometimes Valdemar just needs to get the opportunity to also get a few extra sheep so that he can out-sustain and make this a 7-game finals. Because this game, it deserves a 7. And Crackety, I know you have work tomorrow morning, but it's only 1 a.m. We've got the whole day
I've come
ahead
to
of
terms
us.
with it. Yeah, I've kind of come to terms with it. I've got some caffeine pills that I can use tomorrow, so I'll be fine. Just one of those bad boys is as much as like 4 coffees, so...
That sounds a little bit unhealthy, Crackety. And as someone who's a bit of a health nut, I was going to say, you look like a bit of a health nut recently, so...
I mean, it's... As long as I only take 1, it's fine. Once the second comes in, that's when it starts getting a little bit spicy.
Now, when you are... Oh, if you're a Scarlet Devil here, what do you open up with?
I want to say you still want to go for Keshik opening. That would be my bet. You could, in theory, also just open up with Mangudai, but I think just Keshik opening probably the safest bet. Just because like you can also like heal up the Keshiks, and you might be able to snipe a villager, and that is I like sniping villagers. We are actually going to be seeing a pasture coming in here early on from Scarlet Devil. I also like that because the earlier you get them, the more sheep, of course, you get from them as the game goes on, and it's right next to the Uvu, so it's a lot of added efficiency there. Yeah, Scarlet Devil. This game, he is not going to be finding a lot of sheep, so definitely getting that early pasture in is going to make a lot of sense here for him.
And he's already ready to get that first production building after the pasture, which is pretty great. He's invested.
But what if,
this?
Whammon?
What if?
A second
What if it's another pasture? Let's go see. Observer.
It would be weird.
Observer,
it's not gonna be the same.
Please...
Maybe Mangudai? That could also be the case. Oh, yeah, we're getting the archer range.
We are getting some Mangudai. And, you know, they have the word die in their name, and that's exactly what Scarlet Devil is trying to say to us. This is what he's going to be causing death against Ghazi Raiders. Now, Ghazi Raiders, they're faster than the Mangudai, right? Or same movement speed?
They are a good bit faster. So Mangudai, they have 1.56 tiles per second of movement speed. Ghazi Raiders have 1.81 or 8? 8.1. I want to say 8.1. So 1.81. But Mangudai, with the deer stones forward, they are going to outmaneuver them. They will have more movement speed.
And that's probably what he's banking on here. Well, you will not make
Mangudai, kill
sheep,
the scout
sheep.
or the sheep. One of them you're gonna kill.
He's just
the scout is coming in. He could pop down the movement speed arrow. There it is.
Ooh, and now that scout is melting, Crackety. This is so tough, especially with him already getting 4 Mangudai on the field. And now, even splitting those apart just feels a lot better. Ooh, and 2 sheep in the bag.
Taking away 600 food from your opponent and getting it yourself, that's pretty good. Okay, it was 1.88.
And now, we've got a deer stones in front of Delhi's base. And that feels pretty good.
Calm, trying to body block here. The Mangudai taking significant damage. Deer stones, too far forward.
And losing one of those is actually pretty massive here. When you're...
Yeah, they don't come in that quickly. They take a while.
And now Keshiks is the next choice for him. And this is going to be pretty great, especially just being that front line and now being able to outmaneuver a little bit. The problem is just Valdemar is doubling down on these Ghazis. And like you said, if the the deer stones are on range, this becomes a little bit harder for him to handle. Now he's waiting for the rest of his Mangudai, and the boys are going to be heading forward. This looks like he wants to get on that wood line and make sure that things go a little bit crazy.
We're now also seeing some Keshiks coming in, so Scarlet Devil will also have a cavalry front line for him here.
He's trying to stop this from placing down, but it will be able to do so. And Khan is now in position. I'm just going to say Meme Gadai are going to be able to just run around and fire. Because, guys, with these, you don't need to maneuver them at all. They just automatically shoot when they're in range of another unit.
Yeah, we do, of course, have the Scholars, though, from the Delhi, so is going to be able to just heal up the injured Ghazi Raiders back to full HP. At the moment, Valdemar, he's got more military units, even without the Scholars working for him. And the Mangudai are going to get found out here. Do a good amount of damage, as Valdemar doesn't have a blacksmith yet.
Well, the Khan getting that vision helps so much as well. But he does need to be careful. These archers are starting to tickle, and these guys are just going to go back to base and heal back up. And there's 4 scholars waiting to heal. The blacksmith finally getting placed down, which means that these upgrades are going to come in just very, very slowly. Now, the Mangudai not finding any damage, but Scarlet Devil doesn't care. Scarlet Devil is going to castle right here, right now. He does have 10 on gold, and I say he's going to castle, but he has another Keshik in queue. And another
and it's
stable.
The third stable.
Oh
Okay,
gosh.
yeah, he's not... Well, this isn't Constellation. This is
castle.
mass Keshik play now.
Oh, this is going to be disgusting, Crackety. He's just going to... Oh, and he's got so much food here ready to just snack off of. This is something you don't
He's
usually
gonna lose
see.
the landmark, though.
He needs to pull that bad boy
It's so
back.
slow. It is so slow.
And Scarlet Devil might just have to sacrifice this landmark. It is what it is. He pulls back, waits for the Keshiks, and probably going to start going in then. You have to consider that with these Keshiks, fighting the boar currently, taking damage but healing back up, and the villagers are going to be ready for this. Now the Mangudai do get in position, but the archers are going to be able to do a significant amount of damage. And honestly, pretty good job here by Valdemar. Instantly intercepting this, seeing that opening, and now he's getting himself in a pretty okay spot. At least for now. Because with the archer numbers he's got, it's great. But the problem is Keshiks do pretty well against them.
Yeah, now the Deerstones is going to be going down. It's one of those Hilfe Steve Bruder moments where it just can't go out. And Valdemar behind this now is feeling confident enough to start moving out to the sacred sites. Little jump scare there from the Deerstones.
Now, it feels like the Keshiks are completely hidden up until now. Valdemar is still investing into these archers. Every bit of food now is used, but he knows he sees them now, and the Keshiks are going in for it.
Pierce armor has not yet finished up for Valdemar. So the Mangudai actually on the retreat, while Valdemar is retreating, are getting a lot of damage in. Single Mangudai teetering off towards the Scarlet there. Double Mangudai getting sniped out though by the archers. But yeah, good damage done here now by the Keshik so far. Got a couple more charges in as well. But Ghazi Raiders standing firm.
Doing a pretty good job at this. Already doing that transition. We can see the spearmen now coming out from Valdemar. And this is very necessary. This is a pretty big investment here from Scarlet Devil, and it just doesn't feel like it's paid off at all. No villagers going down in this whole shebang. But the Mangudai, honestly, I don't think they're going to find any value this game. Right now, there's a lot of villages on wood that is completely untouched because he knows that those Ghazi Raiders are going to catch up so quickly. And these scholars just healing them back up to full. So, Scarlet Devil, he's changing his mind here. As we can see, he's no longer making any units. He's just trying to keep Valdemar in his base by putting down pressure as he's now going for the age up.
Yeah, Scarlet Devil, he is amassing resources, so as you mentioned, age up, most likely going to be his goal here. Just tries to keep Valdemar on his toes, but Valdemar is moving out, and oh, what a great timing for Valdemar to be moving out just as Scarlet Devil is about to be going on to those deer there. He's trying to rush up an outpost, but well, Oh my god, the manga
Poor
died, the
stuff.
notification! He's like, oh, nope, I'm going around that side. Oh, no, wait, does he notice something? I think he might have just noticed a deer move. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo!
Oh, they need
That's
to
a
run
big
straight to
wee-woo.
the army. Oh, 1, 2.
That could have been so much worse, Whammon. That could have been so much worse. That is
Luckily-
actually, like, that is crazy how game ending that could have been.
9 villages. I kind of recall a game I was watching where Beastie was playing Delhi and he was going out on the berries. Marine Lord just arrives with a bunch of knights and all of them are deleted. This felt like that moment, except Scarlet Devil was ready with the reinforcements. So Scarlet Devil saving his tournament life just a little bit more. And now with those Mangadai, not really finding any damage as of yet. Those 3 are just roaming around trying to find something to do. But they need to be careful here because those archers are not just tickling.
Step Redoubt coming in behind this now for Scarlet Devil, so Aja will be coming in shortly. Valdemar is starting to wall in some of those sacred sites, so it's going to be a lot tougher here for Scarlet Devil to try and get these back under his control.
Step Redoubt is going to make this a bit better, I guess. The thing is, Valdemar can very quickly switch to going up himself, or he could just try and do a little bit of pressure here. The question now is Valdemar going to be able to do the damage he needs? We need to keep in mind that the stone needed for this is going to be... He needs a lot of upgrades to get those towers to not fall instantly. He's got the wood to build yet another one. And this is usually a little bit of a slippery point when you're up against any civilization as the Mongols. You have now invested into going for your age up. Oof, that archer going towards his death. And it looks like Scarlet Devil realizes I'm going to need to make sure it counts as well.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot of villagers, though. This might be a little bit of a villager exchange here, as the Keshiks are making their way through, but there's something like a gate there, blocking. Oh my god! The dead bodies piling up here on both sides, but in the end, Valdemar, he lost fewer villagers.
And that was a pretty tough raid there. He did not react at all. Those villagers all died outside the towers, and unfortunately, that is just going to mean that this is so much harder for him to come back from. Scarlet Devil now, he's got the step redoubt, and you see him investing so much into this. The idle time on Valdemar's side, it does start to add up, but he's losing a lot of this military, and 60 military units, that's not going to be fun to handle anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much here now for Scarlet Devil to handle it. Grant, he did actually manage to find a couple more villager kills, so he's been able to even out the villager difference a little bit more behind this. So that's 15 Keshiks, so that certainly is still a good amount of units to have out there. Is actually able to still take some really good trades here, able to take down the villagers on the berries, or at least force them back. As we do know, villagers sometimes have rocket boots propelling them forward.
Ooh,
But Scarlet Devil, he might be losing the villagers on the boar. Yeah, he's gonna lose them.
And he's not noticing this at all. The Ghazi's getting a perfect surround here too. Now, getting inside, he does take down 2 of them from the outside, but these Keshiks are looking for more damage on his side as well. Scarlet Devil now, he needs to make units, and right now he doesn't have the food to do so. He got the vills, he got what he came for, and now he backs right out. Doesn't need to take down that tower at all.
This is a rough one for him now at the moment. Scarlet, he has a lot of gold remaining, so might be getting a market in just to try and buy himself some food. Yeah, he did actually just buy some food. Still has a second group of Keshiks somewhere. Probably just in his base.
He needs to
This is a... Oh, Valdemar's going up now.
House of Learning coming in, and this is great. The thing is, Delhi does have a little bit of that timing where they still need to wait for the Castle Age upgrades to really kick in, but he could just go for units. But with 5 on gold, we're not expecting any crazy Castle Age units coming out. Now, he does have a few barracks set up here as well, but of course, we want to make sure that we have the mobility, and right now he's got pretty decent mobility. Valdemar getting onto those food sources, knowing that that's exactly where his opponent might be hanging out. Scarlet Devil only securing 1 single relic, even though he's been castled this whole time.
Yeah, this game so far has been anything but ideal for Scarlet Devil when it came to the last couple of minutes here. Valdemar now able to get the age up in, Tech's being queued up, 12 scholars on his side, so he's going to be able to get a whole bunch of upgrades in. Scarlet starts decapping one of the sacred sites here now, and Valdemar behind this immediately picks up 2 of the relics on the map.
You see, we're getting some Delephants though, and Delephants definitely something that will be pretty solid at this stage. The problem is there's no food for either of these players. We can see a few deer standing there under the TC. He had 100 food per minute there for a while as the villagers were busy aging up, but he needs to find more damage with these Keshiks, and he needs to find it soon, because Scarlet Devil now going for a bunch of men-at-arms, it's most likely not going to be the pressure that he wants. This is a pretty solid food transition for Scarlet Devil already, though.
Couple of Keshiks moving into the base of Valdemar here. Not gonna find anything that they want to find, though, as the elephant is immediately taking down 2 of the Keshiks there rapidly. Keshiks trying to make their way out. They are gonna get out, but another one going down. These are heavy losses for Scarlet Devil now.
And Scarlet Devil is just not able to constantly keep producing. Now with elephants in the mix as well, Valdemar is getting 1 elephant, and 1 elephant is enough to make Scarlet Devil overreact to this. He's getting spears now, and that's basically, I feel like, what Valdemar wanted from this. He needed him to go for units that are not necessarily going to have the right answer to the rest of his composition, because no more elephants are planned, but a lot more archers are doing their existence in this army, and with the upgrades about to kick in, this is going to feel pretty good. These Gazi Raiders also just not able to be caught out. Oh, the separate out.
Relic coming in for Scarlet Devil. 3rd relic, though, coming in for Valdemar at the same time. We're now getting the 2nd elephant boy in as well. And Scarlet Devil, he needs a lot of crossbows. He does not have a lot of crossbows if he wants to deal with the elephants.
1 crossbow to rule them all, he says. But with all of these Keshiks, I just would have loved to see him actually being constantly in the base, because this is something that he's now seen. He's seen that Valdemar is out there. He's putting his units in a pretty compromising position every now and again, but he's just not able to get on top of them. He needs to make sure that these Keshiks are safe, because Valdemar's responses have been sublime. Valdemar just now building that death ball that is going to hurl right towards Scarlet Devil's base. And it feels like Scarlet Devil's being a little greedy goose here, who's just going to go straight for Imperial. Crackety, I feel like this is going to be a destruction if he tries to do so.
It's a strategy weapon, but at the moment, like at this point in the game, Valdemar just has more than enough units to dive. And yeah, I think he knows that something is up. We see the entire army blob forward.
And Scarlet can still change his mind. He can still produce a bunch of units. He does have production buildings here. Oh.
There's no more breaks, Whammon. It's too late. He's going for it.
Oh, look at all this.
The scholars are all moving forward as well.
And he doesn't take the bait, though. He's still moving forward. He's still going to go find this army. This Imperial Age is not what... This is not the fast Imperial you were looking for, Scarlet. This fast Imperial is a lot sooner. You cannot do this when your opponent has 2, soon 3 elephants on his roster. But he's going for it.
Yeah, it's a massive army coming in. He's getting military academies, so it's going to produce very quick, the Kaganet that is, but realistically, you cannot kill these elephants. You don't have the units to kill them.
Yeah, even if you spawn a few Imperial Age units, it's not what you're going to need to actually try and fight this. 32 units. He's trying to get his units to move back. But these elephants on the front lines, they have intention. Yes.
This is over. Valdemar, he's going to dive, and there is no force in the universe that is able to get him out of Scarlet Devil's space now. He can just start burning down the TC, and yeah, he's just gonna start burning down things. He's just sitting there.
Now these Keshiks are just trying to find a little bit of damage, running around. He just does not want to face the music. 4 seconds, 3 seconds.
He's just gonna burn the Kaganet right? Like, just burn down the Kaganet. That way you don't have to be afraid of the units that come out of it, if it doesn't exist.
Ooh, at first, a set of units is going to be the Imperial Age Mangudai. That's great. You know, if he had any villages left by the end of this, them desperately trying to get a few towers up. But no, no, no. Valdemar is ready for this. He knows how to handle it. And not going for the Kaganet, but going for everything else. And it's surely paying off.
Yeah, there's a keep drop now as well. And GG comes in. Valdemar able to even out the set one last time, because now there's only one game left between Valdemar or Scarlet Devil and EGC Masters Final qualifier.
I am exhausted. Crackety! These guys, how are they feeling? If I'm sitting here on my butt getting served tea every 2 hours, how are they feeling? Does Valdemar get served tea? Is Scarlet Devil receiving little snacks between these games? Or are these guys feeling like we're feeling? Twitch chat, you guys are sitting here, I'm sure all of you are sitting here exhausted from watching that, seeing elephants flood the base. But these guys, they're living it. And they have put up a top tier performance for 9 hours now. So honestly, hats off to both of them. But this is a pretty big match for them. Both of these guys putting everything on the line for this last round. And Scarlet Devil, he needs to do some pretty big shenanigans to take down our meta player Valdemar, who's just doing everything so methodically.
It's all gonna be coming down now to this one last game. We'll be having to wait to see just exactly what civilizations they're gonna pick for that last game.
It looks like this is going to be a mystery to us for a while as we watch these Ghazi Raiders wreak havoc upon the Kashyyyks and the Mangudai, just not able to close what they needed. Now, guys, I hope you can get your Twitch bets in this chat pretty quickly when we get our last matchup, because this is the ultimate game. This is pretty crazy to me, because Scarlet Devil, he's been a guy who every now and again, he just comes out, he destroys people you wouldn't usually see him taking down, in the top 8 even. But now he is really just up against someone who is playing standard, and his crazy shenanigans are just not all working out. Gorge, the final map. Guys, English.
Aber
We have English, we've got Sengoku on the roster still. Come on. Twitch
We
chat.
have English and we've got Abbasid on the roster for them. And I think that's gonna be it.
No.
It might be.
Top clock.
I don't think Valdemar is gonna risk Sengoku. I don't think he feels like he's played it enough. I don't think he's gonna play Knights Templar, cause that civilization sucks on land. So he's gonna be playing Abbasid. That's a comfort pick for him. Scarlet Devil, I don't think he's gonna be playing Tuklak. As much as you like the Civ, I don't think he's gonna be playing JD.
I'll be getting English 2TC, guys. I'm already calling the build. I don't care about the Civ, I just need the build. The English 2TC build. Is it still alive? This is...
There it is.
English, the best for last, ladies and gentlemen. They are blessing us today with the real powerhouse, the English civilization. So, how does this play out with Abbasid on the line, though? Valdemar methodical. You said it's his comfort pick. What does he do now?
Against English, I mean, you can just try and outboom English. You could just, yeah, you can literally just outboom English with Eco Wing.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I can't believe it. Yeah, because that's the thing. English, they need to do something against you, right? And I think at the same time, if you are an aggressive enough player, you don't want Abbasid to boom too much, but Abbasid is pretty good at sitting in their base, surviving. The thing is, English, they've got longbows. They will just shoot over the half of the map and take you down. So, yes. English has a king? Exactly. Maybe English's king is the thing we've been waiting for this whole time. So, big decider round. Okay, so if English booms, you boom. Is there any world where you go for a military wing in feudal?
You could, but honestly, I don't think it makes too much sense for you to go for the military wing, unless it's like a council hall opening, maybe. Because boot camp is really good with the mass archers, but honestly, I'm hesitant. Sure, like council hall did get a slight buff with the 5% discount on the longbowman, but is it really that big? I don't think it is. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it makes a very big difference. So I think it's most likely just going to be the normal, or rather the just typical English 2TC type play that we're going to be seeing here from Scarlet Devil.
Oh, we've been seeing some pretty good stuff when it comes to English 2TC into that White Tower and just making the knights pour out. But Abbasid, they have answers to this. Their villagers, if going eco wing, of course, or even if going military wing into 2TC, they've got a lot of choices, which I just absolutely love yet again. But, you know, it's the last game. Let's not say they have good choices. They just have choices. So you can't compare them to where the Abbasids are in terms of great choices in front of their face. So I do see Don Artie here. I think it was Don Artie that was like, hey, what about the culture wing? Are we cooking? Are we cooking,
I mean,
boys?
That's what I mean when I say that, like, you can just outboom. That's what the culture wing is for. You just, like, the classic N+1 TC, you just take the count of TCs your opponent's going for and you add an additional TC on top of that. I think that's probably the best way to go for it here as Abbasid.
I like that comment. N+1. That's a little math right there. Okay, no, I like that. I think with Abbasid as well, you have a civ that just booms better. And a lot of times when we look back, because guys, this is back to the launch of the game. Now, feast your eyes on Season 1, when I did not play this game, but I was just watching Beastie mold about it. So this is just back in the day where Abbasid and English were facing off against each other very often. We had council hall openings every single time. Abbey of Memes didn't exist, but this is an old school boom matchup that is just an absolute destruction. It doesn't feel like English gets to sit on one TC and try to kill them like they did back then, though. Now English actually needs to find creative ways of doing damage. It's just not feasible to just go straight for it with your usual ram, your 3 ram, kill the second TC, because they can just be a little bit safe. In Gorge, though, English cannot outboom. They have to do damage. Yeah, they need to find a way to break through that, because Abbasid is just going to do this for longer, better, and cheaper over time. So 9 hours in, and what a matchup to end the series with. I guess we can all go to bed right now.
Yeah, I feel like English, it's we talked about it, right? Like, Abbasid can just outboom English. But do you want to go for Council Hall?
Oh, let's say that.
Maybe just 1 TC Abbey of Kings into still Council Hall afterwards.
Abbey of Kings into Council Hall. That's a 1 a.m. statement if I've ever heard one. Yeah. I agree.
Into proxy archery ranges forward?
Okay. Oh, that's what you meant with the council hall. Got it.
No, you go for the Abbey of Kings, you get the king in forward. That one is going to cover for a villager. It's going to move out and produce like archery ranges in the middle of the map. And then going to follow up with an outpost on the wood line.
Actually, if there's anyone who's going to do that, that's Scarlet Devil. Yes, that guy too. I just want to point out, ladies and gents, we are getting predictions in the chat. So if you are in a country that allows Gamba, now is the time to gamble your Twitch points. I am putting all my Twitch points, let's see how many I have, on Scarlet Devil. 117,000. Let's go put it on my English love. And now, Scarlet Devil, I'm all in on you, my man. But on the other side of the bracket, ladies and gents, Numan and Giljardi, 3-3.
Yeah, they caught up as well. I didn't think that set would, like, end even remotely at the same time as this one, but yeah, apparently that's the way it's gonna be. It's one of those classic past 1 a.m. days here over at EGC TV. And we're all here for it. We're all here for it. So Valdemar, Scarlet Devil, Numidan, or Kiljadi, only 2 of these players are going to end up qualifying.
And they save the best for last, of course. Now, Crackety, imagine this is a 10-minute game, and we get to go over to the other one to watch that one finish as well. I'm sure you're gonna love that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
nope.
It's production. Nope.
I'm just
because
kidding.
you never know. You never know with Numidan Kiljadi. This could be a 10-minute game. Their last game could be 2 hours. But enough of that. We're jumping into the last game of this series between Scarlet Devil and Valdemar. Whoever wins this last remaining game is going to qualify for the EGC Masters Finals main event. Is it going to be Scarlet Devil, or is it going to be the Kid playing as the Abbasid Dynasty here up against the English from Scarlet Devil? Both scouts meeting in the middle of the map here. Scarlet Devil flaunting the 3 sheep that he found so far. Valdemar is actually getting a little bit outpaced here by the scout.
And now they kiss. Yeah, as they pass by. Yeah. Oh, Crackety, this is tough because all the sheep, spawn-wise, Valdemar is in a tough spot, hey?
Potentially here, yeah. I mean, if he's going to the bottom round, he's only going to be finding a maximum of 4 sheep. And if Scarlet Devil just goes straight and up, he's going to be finding at least 7.
Now, this feels like a pretty good spot here for Scarlet Devil, just because, you know, English, they do pretty well at just, you know, farming, living a good life, a healthy life, no stresses all around. But Abbasid, once they tap out those initial berries, or even before they tap out those initial berries, they have a very serious problem of dealing with whatever English is throwing at them. That being a king, that being longbows. It's just, there's a lot that they need to answer for. And you can see here, Scarlet has been blessed by the scouting gods as he's about to go and run into a black and a brown sheep right there at the top. Disgusting. But he might run out of food here at the base, though.
Oh, it's going to be very interesting now in just a little... Wait, actually, it was double brown sheep there as well. Oh, he's not seeing the black sheep. Oh, he did. And he's going for it. And he sees the other one as well. Scarlet Devil, as you said, he's getting blessed by the sheep gods right now. Blessed be the sheep RNG. And Valdemar... Oh, he didn't find the 2 sheep at the bottom. Council Hall is coming in against Economic Wing from Valdemar.
Okay. This might be a tough spot for Valdemar. Because Council Hall is going to take a minute. Technically, it's going to take 2 minutes to age up. But
he's only aging up with 2 villagers.
Exactly. This is a tough one. Scarlet Devil going for Council. I definitely don't think Valdemar is expecting this, but he's about to find out. Running past now, picking up the rest of those sheep. We do see a nice little early farm there as the food was running low, but he's going to spot this, and now he's got some choices to make.
Oh. He sees it and immediately cancels the second TC plan.
But not canceling the age up. I like that. Of course.
I mean, it's going to take forever.
Right. Yep. The problem is now with Economic Wing, what does he do with this? Economic Wing gives him nothing right now. It gives him
cheap farms.
I guess that's true.
Cheap houses, cheap drop-off buildings.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, you've convinced me.
He's not getting boot camp, but to be fair, like that's gonna come in much later. But yeah, it's. I'm just glad for him that he's not falling for the second TC now, because that could definitely leave him exposed.
And Abbasid is actually pretty decent at shutting down longbows in general, because you're just making a stable, you live your best life, and they're perfectly shut down. Then the council hall just becomes an archery range that cannot heal villagers like the usual Abbey of Kings. So Scarlet Devil already forwent a lot of advantage that English usually has. But this is a pretty solid set of food, though. Now, the question is, with a nice little barracks follow-up instantly. Love that. And now, all of a sudden, Abbasid needs to double respond to this. Stable coming down and archery range instantly placed down as well. So, 2 longbows in production. Is Mr. Valdemar going to be ready for this? This feels like Season 1 pushing out. Season 1 to 5, we're pushing out, making sure that you don't push out with just longbows, use them all to one horseman, you go put a spear in the mix, and all of a sudden, it becomes a pretty scary push.
It is. I mean, with the spearmen there, the horsemen from Valdemar aren't going to be able to really do too much up against the longbows. Scarlet Devil, he's got a great timing here on the early spearmen there as well.
Now, a single one though, and that might be the issue, especially with 2 horses in production here from Valdemar. He is getting 2 archers as well, but the circling here, we do see Scarlet Devil trying to go for the villagers here onto the berries, which is a pretty safe spot to go for, but gold is going to be next. He needs to be very careful here. More longbows coming out, but still, just 2 spears. Doesn't look like he's confident with this.
First villager might be going down. Does pull him back in time. Oh, never mind. Gets the villager kill.
And the TC idled there for a few moments as he was overwhelmed by just the sheer existence of these units. Now getting another horseman. Actually, he might have actually just forwent making a villager and just getting the horse. And that is expensive. That is a very expensive horseman. It's not just a horse, but it's 40 resources per minute horseman from here as well. Just because giving up that initial villager. And he's getting yet another archery range. But Scarlet Devil pulling back now at exactly this moment to ensure he does not invest too much or lose too much here. He got his villager kill and now he gets to pull back. But the horsemen here, they are looking for damage of their own.
8 longbowmen. We're now getting to the point where they can like even trade grade up against the horsemen. Especially since there's already a blacksmith up, so Scarlet Devil could be going for pierce damage here very early on. Of course, with the alarm bells here, he's always going to be wary of when the horsemen are going to go for a dive onto the wood line.
And getting double broadaxe is going to help him immensely just staying ahead with this. Now, getting horticulture next is going to help him just produce more and more, especially with those farms already being set up. But he's got the gold in the bank. He says, oh, +1 ranged attack is more important for him. And it makes a lot of sense, especially when you're up against all these horses. You're still making longbows. You want to make sure that you can actually deal with horses. And just like I said at the start of the stream, archers don't counter horses and knights, but 60 of them definitely do. So this could be a fun play here, just ensuring he makes enough to actually snipe those horses down. But it's such an easy matchup to fail either way. It feels like you lose one fight and the game is over. And this is something that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't seen that with other civilizations up until this point. This is English in a nutshell.
What's Valdemar doing at the moment? The UI says he doesn't have a single villager on food.
He has 1 on food, apparently.
Okay, never mind. He went out to another berry patch. Okay, that was it. But that's a lot of idle time. He didn't produce anything in the meantime, military-wise at least. And he's now setting up an outpost on the gold as well. Looks like he might be trying to. Go for an age up.
Getting that 1 minute arm in the mix. He's getting 1 more archer here just to be safe. You don't want to stop producing, especially when you see your opponent isn't producing either, or isn't stopping either. And now
could also just be upgrades.
Ranged attack, or defense at least, coming in now, ensuring that longbows are not going to be able to handle those horses anytime soon. But we'll see him creeping closer. Both of these players playing very, very carefully. That's why we're talking like we're sitting at a safari, trying not to scare the gazelle. So right now, we just want to see our longbows snacking on a few horses, trying to find a bit of damage. And they are about to connect on the gold. And are we going to see it? It does get a pretty
he gets him back
solid
in time.
charge.
So we're now in a situation where it's Abbasid versus English. Both kind of just sitting here in feudal age. But Scarlet Devil already has a good amount of farms in. Valdemar doesn't have a second TC. I'm guessing he has fresh food stuff. I didn't see it come in. I'm just going to assume that at this point he must have it. Would be weird if that was not the case. Scarlet Devil can just start spamming out men-at-arms. And there's nothing in theory that Valdemar could really do against that long term.
And that seems to be
it's
the
even
play
more
here.
villagers on gold. Yeah, he just pulled all the villagers from wood over to gold. Okay, so he is looking for the way out. He is looking for a castle age.
And the scout knows all of this. Scarlet Devil sees exactly what's going on. He sees the age up has not started. He's waiting for it to get clicked so that he can go and attack. Because he is producing, but also not too much. He is going for that age up himself as well. Now, if this is a white tower, it makes sense. But at the same time, do we just get our second TC coming in?
Not anytime soon.
No,
Like,
no,
right
I meant
now you
from
can't
English.
afford it, but for England, maybe
age
down
up.
the line. But for now, like, he's so well set up food-wise. I think it's just much more likely that Scarlet Devil is now just gonna go for the
My
age up and maybe pump out some knights as well. Try and get relic control. But Valdemar is now in a really, really uncomfortable spot here. Keep is gonna be coming in.
Oh, this is going to be a repeat from the previous time when we saw the keep just like taking forever to place. But this secures the deer as well. So the gold, even though it's a little bit tapped out by this point, it definitely puts you in a spot where you can have access to a lot of chunky deer here. And now start rallying your units outwards. We already see the mill getting placed. He wants the food and he wants it now. Archers not going to make the mistake of moving towards the white tower, but rather looking like they're heading downwards. A second stable is now added, and this is just going to mean that Avocet is going for a few camel riders in between as well. Or does he just go for knights? Do they? I mean, do they have knights?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I haven't played Avocet in 6 years.
So at all. But yeah, Avocet, they do have knights. Avocet are gonna spawn in now with 2 camel riders as soon as military wing comes in. But camel riders have 0 pierce armor. So the longbowmen are gonna do great against them. Scarlet Devil now, with the age up, could in theory just start making some knights as well from the White Tower really rapidly. And with the Council Hall, the upgrade on the longbows is going to be coming in incredibly quickly as soon as he clicks it. Just needs a little bit more food, and there we go. Is coming in now. And with that timing, it's going to be kind of difficult for Valdemar to take a fight here early on. You see more men-at-arms, more longbows moving forward. First knight now as well. Did abandon the outpost, is crawling out here now onto some proxy resources on the top side there. Outpost is going to get burned down, and looks like Valdemar is going to maybe just decide to sacrifice some horsemen here for some potential raids. But, of course, the alarm bell does come in for the English.
The villagers pulling back at the perfect time. With no wheelbarrow, they still survive to another day. But this is pretty neck and neck. And just because of that TC idle time and the 1 villager kill, we are seeing a 3 villager difference constantly between these two. And Scarlet Devil not idling that TC even for a second. And this is just the difference in now taking 1 good fight. Valdemar now, he is on a different gold, but Scarlet Devil needs to know this. He has a knight. He needs to be able to raid around. Valdemar also getting his own knights that I have now learned that Abbasid also has. And I'm very happy for them. But this does feel a little different when you're on that many farms already.
Valdemar now adding in some crossbows. Lots of villagers on gold. We're getting a ton of upgrades in now. Boot camp among them. Some lancers in as well. We do already have the mosque and actually able to snipe the early monk there from Scarlet Devil. Still 1 monk remaining for him, but does mean that he is going to get delayed on the relics.
The problem is, what's happening now is Scarlet Devil is being lured to the top side of the map, where all of the eco is. The thing is, the whole army is here as well, so of course this is optimally where you want to engage if you wanted to, but the scout is going to be able to see exactly where he does not want to be. You see those longbows absolutely destroying the horsemen, deleting them as they're running close. Men-at-arms now being the front line, and longbows doing an amazing job at just picking off everything. That
The
is
range
disgusting.
whammon on these longbows, it's, yeah. Disgusting is a good word for it. We also just now saw the armor-clad upgrade coming in for the men-at-arms, so Valdemar, 30 archers he's about to have 30 archers. They're about to, like, do negative damage almost to these men-at-arms.
The men-at-arms can get into position, and in position they are. Longbows now going to be firing at exactly what they need to fire, whatever is in front of them, and just doing so much work with the +2 ranged attack. He does have +2 ranged armor, but at the same time, when you have this many longbows, it cleans up quite well. Men-at-arm numbers just increasing now, and Valdemar finally adding a few crossbows as well.
Crossbows can get easily sniped out though by the longbows and all of their bonus range in as well. Scout is keeping an eye out for any potential move outs back to the gold. Scarlet Devil, he has to be careful though. You can never underestimate your own prowess with the English, with your army. Because if you lose them, it takes a while to reproduce them. Also getting a second relic back in now. Valdemar with the first relic that he has garrisoned in, but Scarlet Devil, 4 monks on his side. He's really going ham on the relic gathering here.
Now, we have to take a look at where Valdemar is regarding food as well. Because, of course, Valdemar has been on berries constantly. He's been tapping them out as much as he can. But there's still 2 very healthy deer packs for him. These villagers out here, it feels like there is just no pressure on them. Scarlet Devil is playing this so safe. And the 4th relic being picked up and dragged back, but there is a little bit of an interception on the way.
Oh, he reveals himself.
Unfortunately, dying right there on the spot. He did scream to the skies, a final prayer before he goes down. Now the longbows, they are looking for damage. He doesn't want to take that fight into the mobile units because he's just going to end up chasing around non-stop. Now, military upgrades from Valdemar constantly. The problem is,
Yeah.
I don't
Up to
know.
20 men-at-arms.
I don't know if Valdemar is going to be able to take that front line, especially with some of those units being down there at the bottom at the English base. Going to probably do some raiding the moment that these units hit. But it feels like Scarlet Devil is still not going for where the villagers are. He's just circling and not sure when and where to attack.
Valdemar, he doesn't have that many crossbows yet. We do, of course, get the alarm bells coming in time here. For Scarlet Devil, has some reinforcements here as well to repel the army from Valdemar.
And
3 relics have been taken and could now also look towards capturing those sacred sites.
he just forces this back. And I think that's so amazing here from Valdemar. Just constantly forcing this army to respond and go back. Because it's such an immobile army, he needs to respond pretty heavily because he doesn't know where the rest of them are. But again, this is just allowing Valdemar to get every bit of resource that he wants. And with Eco-Wing Abbasid, that farm transition is not going to be too tough, yeah?
This might be Eco-Wing Abbasid, but we're still only on a single TC. And look at the food income from Scarlet Devil compared to what Valdemar has. Look at the total income at the bottom left side. 30,000 resources gathered compared to 22,000.
And I'm honestly a little surprised by that, but it could just be the travel time that was all the way here between. So you can see that graph just increasing for English so significantly with all those farms in a prime
Scarlet
position.
Devil, he's not heading back. He sees the knights there, catching off some reinforcement, but he's not afraid. He's not moving back.
Finally. Actually going to be having a little bit of teeth here and fighting back against this with the villagers getting inside the DC. Actually, the crossbows getting inside the DC. All the reinforcements in the DC. That was a pretty interesting move here. But the units now not really sure where they're going to go as we see that red dot not very confidently moving out anywhere. Some of the villagers are going to be paying the price. And they don't have wheelbarrow crackety. These guys are sitting ducks.
Sitting ducks indeed. Some villagers going down, but the army mass from Scarlet Devil still moving forward unperturbed. Army is finally starting to meet its maker here from Valdemar. They've been wreaking havoc here for some time. But it doesn't matter. Scarlet Devil still has the firm economic lead at the end of the day. And now the army finally arrives inside of the base. Scarlet Devil can just start torching down buildings here as well. Or dive deeper.
Oh.
Or just take down the landmark.
I was going to say, that landmark is a little bit tanky for the type of play he's doing. But that house, for example, could just be 2 torches away from dying.
Valdemar has such a weak army by comparison at the moment. Scarlet Devil, though, going back a little bit, might even be going for an Imperial Age transition at the moment. Valdemar's on 400 food per minute. 400 food. Scarlet Devil just got idled for a long time, and even he's still at 1200 food. Valdemar added in another TC. Valdemar's dead.
Valdemar's dead?
Potentially.
Look at this even army? I mean, yes, but this English does not look confident. This Scarlet Devil man is not looking like a Scarlet Devil he is.
Kaiser Johann just called GG, and he's an English fiend. I believe in Kaiser Johann.
That's where the real belief is at. But with all of this food now floating, all of the gold, it does feel like a Berkshire is inevitable. Is this going to be a Berkshire or Wingard?
Nah, it's not going to be a Berkshire.
Okay. I really wanted to see a Wingard, so I really hope we do get to see one. Because Wingard...
It's going to be Wingard.
Okay.
Nobody likes a Berkshire.
Okay. I like a Berkshire, but I agree with you. Wingard is definitely the right choice, but the Berkshire is definitely the below Conk 3 choice.
If Berkshire had the way we trust.
Now, with these towers that Valdemar is getting out here, the thing is, he's not anywhere close to going Imperial himself. He's got the villager advantage, but with the Wingard coming in, that is a pretty solid win condition right there. The moment you get a few footmen in, it feels a little tough for the archer boys to do anything, or even, honestly, anything from that army mass. Just does absolute insane damage. And you can reinforce this with horses if he was inclined to get those upgrades, because that would just add that extra level of prowess to your army that you don't have right now, which is the mobility.
The question is, what unit are we going to see now from Scarlet Devil? There's one unit that I really want to see. The Wingard Footmen.
I love those. They're great. Love a good footman. And Valdemar now scratching his head saying, hey, you have so many units. How is this even possible? So, definitely feels pretty tough, but both of these guys just don't feel confident. Both of them are just circling around, not really sure how to close this. And now we still see an idle Wingard. And finally getting enclosures. That's going to be a good upgrade to have, especially with all those farms already being set up. But it gives your opponent, again, more time. It doesn't feel like this is a commanding English who's ready to end the game with all these Imperial Age upgrades. And now the raids, again, just from Valdemar's side, and still no wheelbarrow. Oh, well, it's coming in now. Finally. 23 minutes into the game. And we get the horsemen instead. He realizes this is what his army lacks. He hasn't been able to do anything with this army for 20 minutes now. He needs to find something that can actually move. Horsemen, solid amount now. And the footmen are next.
There they come in. Footmen, they have an incredibly high health pool. Valdemar, he's about to be able to click Imperial Age himself. But it's not really from a position of strength, I want to say. Actually, he kind of caught up in the food income department.
Yeah, he did. That was fantastic. But he just doesn't have the gold for this just yet. But Scarlet, you know where his gold is. Just go for where the gold is. You can see it on the map. But he's just going straight into the DC. Okay, he's going for the small gold, but there's also a big gold in the map that he gets to go for. Culture Wing, still a minute away, but Scarlet Devil, he's got Imperial Age upgrades. These guys are going to go straight through. Villages are being pulled back, and it looks like the A move is looking for the hole in the wall instead.
He's moving in. Longbow's fully upgraded.
And they know where they need to go. They need to go to the big gold, but never mind. They want to go for the small gold. Big gold boys are going to be able to tell their story as he's moving out. We see finally the horses doing a little bit of damage. First set of footmen is here, but the next set not in queue just yet. Just more men-at-arms. Seems so unsure, Crackety.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult to try and push into base where there's 3 mangonels waiting for you. With all of these choke points. He does see that the A-job is about to come in, so he knows that Valdemar just invested a lot into that as well. And he's spreading himself wide. Getting ready for an engagement up against the mangonels there as well. And there he goes.
And he splits his units
Engagement's being taken.
perfectly.
And the footmen, they're fighting against the knights, where they actually do bonus damage up against them. Just a couple mango shots are coming in. A-job just finishes. But Valdemar, he's getting cooked. Full surround on the military. Longbows firing onto the army here from Scarlet Devil. There's still 34 men-at-arms remaining, Whammon. Valdemar down to half the military force. More units coming in. And now the longbows are closing the gap. They're closing the distance, entering the minimum attack range from the mangonels. There's no way out, and just like that, Valdemar's hopes are being dashed here. Scarlet Devil is able to qualify for the EGC's Masters Final. Valdemar's still trying to get some units out on the field now at this point in time, but his base is fairly overrun. No upgrades coming in for him for the elite upgrades at the moment, so no Imperial Age tax on the way.
Now,
At this
Crackety,
point, it's just a matter of time.
this was phenomenal here by Scarlet Devil in the series, but if I'm looking back at this game and I'm sitting and watching this, I don't feel like I was watching Valdemar and Scarlet Devil. I was watching two people who are absolutely exhausted from a 9-hour, almost 10-hour day of games, and at the same time, they were very, very passive because of it. It just didn't feel like these two were playing their usual game that we saw in the first few. So both of these guys, absolutely amazing performance up until here. And I cannot imagine the exhaustion coming out from both of their sides. But I'm just happy we got English win. Ladies and gentlemen, English is viable again. This is now confirmed.
Not something that we really expected here, but man, looking at the total resources gathered here, Scarlet Devil just miles and miles ahead, especially in the food department here. Valdemar started catching back up there towards the end, that second TC finally starting to carry on through. But in the end, it just was not enough. Scarlet Devil, the non-stop military reinforcement, non-stop pressure at the beginning as well, but still playing it in a very controlled manner here. Throughout it all, throughout the end.